Hey, Libby, will you check if I'm on... Ask Mom to check if I'm on Facebook, please. I'm getting nothing. There we go. Here we go. Took a little bit to kick on. Should be on Wimkin. Don't know what happened, but getting connected was slow tonight. But looks like we're getting everybody on. Looks like we got a few on YouTube, Twitter. I know we're good on Wimkin. Yeah, Facebook took a second, but it's kicking on now. Usually it's a matter of seconds and we're on, but that one took, I don't know, a couple minutes, surprisingly enough. Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me Show, everybody. We're going to get everybody dialed in here and get started. I'm solo tonight. I'm going to be taking you all the way till Kamala Harris is done. It's pre-recorded. I've got some secret interview already for you. I can't hear you, son. You got to yell. Come over here, buddy. I can't hear you. Say it again. Is there anyone I'm not on?
No.
Everything's good. Okay, we'll see you guys in 3 minutes. Thank you. Thanks, buddy. I love you. Sorry, I couldn't hear you. It's noise canceling. I still can't hear you. You got to come over here. Okay, and you can tell her to enter any numbers. She'll know what I mean. That's good news, Melanie. We'll talk about it when we get back.
Do you want the truth? Are you tired of being so confused? You feel like you're more fucked up than the lies on the evening news? Well, just step right in. We can talk about it all as friends. And if you want, we can hug and kiss and make up for the party ends. Agree or disagree, stop arguing me. 'Cause I'm everything you want, damn sure what you need. I won't tell no lies, back up all the facts with truth. And if you can't get down with that, you must be somebody's dog.
Tim, we were wondering where you went, man. That is crazy, buddy. I'm glad you're okay. Timothy Joyce, folks, had a heart attack May 23rd, and he's been gone. When people disappear, I wonder what happens. And most of the time, it's just because people don't get the feed anymore. But because Facebook does its thing, or whatever. But brother, I am so glad to hear that you're alive and well, dude. That's a scary, scary thing. So I'm sorry that happened. And my dad had a heart attack and lived for almost 20 years. Well, maybe not 20. Close to 20 years after. So hang in there, brother. We'll get the show started. Thanks.
And if you want, we can hug and kiss and make up for the party ends. Agree or disagree, stop arguing me. 'Cause I'm everything you want, damn sure what you need. I won't tell no lies, back up all the facts with truth. And if you can't get down with that, you must be somebody's dog.
Howdy, y'all. This is Damani Felder. These are perilous times in American history, and now more than ever, we need individuals who are willing to wage war on the ideological battlefield with like-minded individuals. And I can think of no better place to start than my friends at the Don't Unfriend Me show. So thank you for being here, and enjoy the show.
The Dumb Club, folks. We are figuring it all out. We're getting it put back together. Monthly newsletter. You go ahead and get a conference with the Don't Unfriend Me host once a month. We've got autographed photos, celebrate your birthday, all sorts of stuff. Take a look. Head on over to thedumbclub.com. If you want more of the Dumb Shows, the best way to do it. Also have videos there you haven't seen to the public, all that type of stuff. Come on by. thedumbclub.com. And I also want to thank Ashley as she signed up, and we're going to get her fixed up after the show. So she's been texting me all day and trying to figure out how to get in, and we're going to take care of her. So FYI. Sound.
With
Every
your
time.
Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.
Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me show, everybody. Good to have y'all here. It's going to be a busy night. We've got Kamala, the Babysitters Club, with her emotional support animal, Tim Walls, doing a interview at 9 o'clock. I'm going to be covering that. Yeah, I know it's Labor Day weekend. I've thought about it. We've got Damani tomorrow. I got to call him and see. I don't think he knew it was Labor Day. He's got a new family. So I thought about taking it off, but it's too busy. This is the Super Bowl. It's election season. We'll take some time off for Christmas and Thanksgiving or something. But no, yeah, just me tonight. And the reason why is because Tuesdays, this is Olivia's. I wash my hair and I get some things caught up for personal time. She gets to spend with the kids, and then Thursday, she has class. So she is getting her degree for teaching, and it's part of her work requirement, and she got promoted, and they're paying for her to get her degree. So she's doing classes on Thursday. And Leroy and Amy are out of pocket. So it's me. You guys get me on Tuesday and Thursday, and it's going to be a good time for us to bring other people into the show. Deal of the show, 15% off the Dumb Show. You guys can go over to thedumbshow.com and get your 15% off. I will turn that on in just a second. Just let me know if anybody's going right now, and we'll get it turned on. We got the books in for the For Which It Stands box set. We are officially sold out. These are gone. We only had them up for less than 3 weeks and already sold out. So that's whoever got your order in. There you go. The good news is the box set for Documents of Freedom is back in stock, and we have a relationship with Arcadia Publishing. There's like 75 of these books. They have given us a full complement of books that we can now offer, which is amazing. We're so excited about it, and you guys can get those soon. I got to put them up on the site, but there it is. So if you want to go over to thedumbshow.com, you can order those. Well, let's go. There's a lot to cover. We're going to be on, like I said, for a good 2.5, maybe even 3 hours, depending on how long this interview is. Now, the interview itself is on CNN, but I'm hoping that it's being broadcast somewhere else. Maybe one of you guys can help me because we don't have CNN on Fubo. And usually what I do is I find it on YouTube or something else. And I don't know if they're going to broadcast it live. So if anyone will let me know, I'd appreciate it. Donald Trump is speaking, and a lot of people get frustrated. Matt, why aren't you showing the Donald Trump rally? There's a couple of reasons. One is that Donald Trump doesn't pay me to show his rallies, and if he wants to, he can certainly give me a call, and I'll be happy to do that. And yes, he'll have to pay me to do that because I am not going to sit through, after 8 years of watching Donald Trump do his rallies, another rally. I very seldom anymore watch more than 15 minutes of his rallies, because that's usually where the meat and potatoes is going to be, where he's going to talk about the day's news and anything that's going on. And it's just what he's always done. He just lays out what he's going to do, and it's not a big secret. It's on his website on Agenda 47. I support his agenda. I can read it verbatim in my head to you. I don't need to watch a Trump rally. Occasionally we'll do it when there's something interesting. But so if the Trump campaign wants me to play their rallies, please let me know. I could use the income. Otherwise, we're going to talk about things that we should be talking about, not Donald Trump, because we're all voting for Trump. We should be talking about what the opposing party is doing and what they're saying and what lies they're espousing and mistruths they're espousing. So we can go ahead and address them and have a conversation about it. I mean, that's what we should be doing right now, not necessarily listening to the same old stuff. Doesn't mean you can't listen to Donald Trump. Go listen to Donald Trump. Enjoy it. My point is, I don't have to play it. We got yelled at for that. Amy, I don't understand. It's on Wimkin. You need to be more specific with me, please. So I don't know what that means. Is there a channel that's doing it? If you could link me, help me out, because I can't research that right now. So if you would let me know, I'd greatly appreciate it. So a lot of people have said, I've got some private messages that are saying, yep, it's on CNN. I'm aware. I don't have CNN. And if it is on another channel, I need to have a link, because I can't go research it right now. I need to know if the Kamala Harris interview is being played anywhere other than CNN, because I don't have CNN. I have Fubo, and they are a conservative streamer, and they don't carry CNN. Nobody carries. They don't want to pay the price. So I just need to know, is it going to be on Wimkin? Is it going to be on YouTube? Is it going to be on Rumble? Is it going to be on Fox? Whatever it is, I need to know. Amy says others are gone for good. I don't know what that means. So guys, I don't have Olivia here deciphering for me tonight. So if you're talking to me, you're going to have to say Matt or put a Q in front of it. Otherwise, I don't know if you're talking to me or not. So Olivia helps me put all that together. So what do we got going on tonight? Well, we're going to talk about JD Vance, and he was in Boston, Massachusetts. And I guess Walls was in Boston, Massachusetts, and the IAFD, the fire department conference was there, and they decided to, boo Vance a little bit. Of course. I mean, why don't you go ahead and have that conference in the middle of Nebraska and see how, Walls is received? That would be interesting. I'm pretty sure Walls is going to get booed. So if you're in Boston in the middle of a Democratic stronghold, yeah, that's not shocking. But of course, Democrats, this means that Kamala Harris is going to win. She's going to win because Vance got booed. No, it just means that Vance is in a Democratic stronghold and he's getting some boos. He also got a ton of applause as well. Fox is streaming it on YouTube. Huh? What does that mean? Fox is streaming what on YouTube? I don't understand. We need more detail. I don't know what that means. Fox News? Fox where? So that's what we need to know. Like, if you guys know a secondary channel platform that's streaming the Kamala interview, I would love to know where that's at so I can do that. Otherwise, we'll just pop off at 9 respectively. Kevin, the main man, $10.80. Thank you. That reminds me. Big thunder. Ooh, lightning storm outside. We might lose it. If we lose it, I'll try to come back. I can't guarantee I will. 3,191. Let's just call it 3,200. We're $300 shy of hitting our monthly goal. We've got 29th, 30, 31st. We have 3 days. 3 days. It's cutting it close, folks. But we're almost there. So we appreciate all your donations, all your help. It means the world. So thank you. Massachusetts, Maryland. Where were they? Were they in Maryland? Were they in Boston? Where were they? I don't even know. They said Massachusetts something. So I don't even know. It might be Boston. It doesn't matter. The point is whether it's in Maryland or it's in Massachusetts. Either way, they're both Democrat run. So we're going to cover that. We're going to cover some of Kamala's secret interview. I've got a secret interview, so you can listen to that. I've got the actual portion of the interview that we're going to try to watch tonight if we can find it. I don't care if there are ads, by the way. It doesn't matter. There's ads on CNN anyway. Also, I've got a piece of that interview, and then I've got the secret unedited version of her actual interview, which not a lot of people have, so you're going to see that. Yeah, Dan Bongino is supposed to be on time. I'm sure I can find it. I'm just wondering if somebody might jump over to Rumble and see what you can figure out for me and see if it's over there. That would help out tremendously. So we can get... Olivia's trying, but I don't know if it's going very well. Voter ID, is it racist? We're going to talk about that too. Because Matt, what do you think about Harris saying that she will select a Republican to be in her cabinet if she's elected? That's like saying, I'm going to go ahead and have a black friend. Yeah, that doesn't matter to me. Honestly, I would much rather if she said, hey, I'm not going to have any Republicans in my cabinet because I don't like Republicans and I don't like their policies and they have nothing to really give me. I'll work with Republicans across the aisle. That's what I'll do. But I'm not going to bring any in my cabinet. Just like I don't want Donald Trump to bring any liberals in his. Sorry. I don't care about it. Happy birthday, Amber. Happy birthday. Anyway, we're going to take a look and we'll see what we've got. Let's get to it. We've got a lot to do. And hold on a second. Liv. I gotta take care of kid stuff. I'm sorry. My daughter went to a football game. The game got canceled because it's storming outside and it's lightning and thunder, which is redundant. She can go stay the night, but she has to be home earlier than whatever. Just can someone pick her up or no? Like what's going on? What's the deal?
The game was canceled.
Liv, I know all this. That's why I'm talking to you. Just like let's get to the real short of this.
Well, she couldn't spend the night here because
Liv, I know all this. What about Hayden going to her house?
I don't know.
Call Hayden, find out if she can stay the night and what it looks like with her coming home, okay? Hey,
Yeah.
appreciate you. I'm just in the middle of a show and I can't do this right now. Okay, cool. Let me know. My daughter's texting. She's like, I want to stay the night, but I have to clean my bathroom because I gave her living hell that the bathroom was completely messed up. And it's horrible. It's like, but I also don't want her to not be with her friends on, since the football game was canceled. I'm trying to be a good dad, but I can't do it right now because we're on a live show. So trying to get it all done. Let's get to this. We got a lot to do. A little stressful tonight because there's so many different moving pieces. So I appreciate y'all being patient. Phone lines are open. 804-212-2208, and they're available. And let's go ahead and take a look at the first few things that we want to dive into tonight. Skype lines are open, like I said, 804-212-2208. Internet is struggling. We're getting hammered. I can't check chat. I can't check chat. I can't, Amy, I can't do any of that. Like I've got all my windows open and I can't add anything else to the screen. So it's going to have to be through Olivia or it's going to have to be through text or just type it in here. Anything would be good. But which chat are we talking about also? Is this Facebook chat? Because I can't get into Facebook chat on my computer. So need some help tonight, folks. Gotta pull the old weight and help me out because I don't know where you want me to go. So 1 second. I'm taking a look here of trying to get things loaded. Things don't want this show to happen tonight. I'll tell you that much. The internet is super bad and the storming outside is bad. Lights have flickered a couple times. Twitter won't even load. Finally, Twitter is open. Let's see what we can do here. Okay. Let's see. Thank you, Victoria. You're amazing. We love you. We appreciate you. You're the best. Let's start off with JD Vance and Walls. Thanks everybody for your patience. Once again, if you guys need me to go somewhere, you got to tell me where you need me to go specifically. I've got like 10 different chats. I've got three different Facebook chats. I've got texts. I've got groups. Okay, there we go. Hey, Amy, can you just text that to me, please, so I can check it on my phone, or I can get messages on my computer, please? Thank you so much, my friend. You're the best. Just text it to my phone if you would not mind. All right. Sorry, folks. Let's get this going on. JD Vance and Walls. We're just talking about this. Listen, I can't play a lot of this because, once again, I don't know if you guys have know this, but the Democrats are doing something really interesting. They're playing music on everything they do. And they do it for copyright. And you can't play anything because it's damn copyrighted. They're playing John Cougar Melonhead here. And I don't even think I can play it, but here you go.
Well, good morning. I know you got a lot of important business to get through this week, but I do want to say how grateful I am and what a privilege it is to stand in front of this group.
So I want you to understand that they cut this clip.
Semper Fi, guys. Anyway. We got some. It sounds like we got some fans and some haters. That's okay.
So that's the first one. But once again, liberals doing what liberals always do. They're cutting it out. Here is the actual beginning.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Well.
Oh, see, they're not going to show it, are they? See, this is such BS.
Now, President Trump.
See, they were applauding heavily when he first came on, and there were no boos. And then once it quieted down, there were boos. Let's see if I can find this.
Now, President.
You can hear it right there. Walls and Vance had about the same amount of applause. And the only thing is when it quieted down, Walls didn't get some boos, and JD Vance did. I wouldn't expect that, or I would expect that in a heavily democratically run area that they're in, and this isn't a big surprise. People have to understand is that an election is so much more than one thing. Okay. Okay. Let me give you an example. Can I walk you guys through 2020? All right, let's do this together. Let's walk through 2020. Sorry, I'm not focused. I'm worried about lightning. I'm worried about my daughter. I'm worried about, she's out there in the lightning at a football game. So it's just a lot of stuff tonight. So I'm trying to put it all together. But let's do this together. First things first. Go to 2020. All right? And take a look at what we saw with the election. And then take a look at 2016. So we'll start at 2016. 2016 started, Donald Trump had no chance. Had like less than 1% of the vote, was going against like 16 different candidates. Was an absolute outlier completely. And in no way, shape, or form had any chance of winning. Nobody expected him to win. And he got to the first debate, and what happened? He steamrolled people. He absolutely crushed. Then he started going up in the polls, 2016. And then we saw this massive closing of the gap between Trump and Hillary. And this closed so large that we saw the entire race about 2 months beforehand go to really close to about 2 to 3 points. Then October's surprise started. And that's when the grab 'em by the vagina tape came out. And the one with Billy Bush and from Entertainment Tonight or Access Hollywood or wherever the hell it was. I don't care. And Donald Trump went down 10, 12, even 20 points nationally. I mean, it was over. The race was over. Nobody thought he was going to win. Nobody. And it was so bad that even the Trump campaign just kind of quit. They stopped touring. They stopped buying commercials. It was over. The grab him by the pussy thing killed him. Hold on a second. My daughter's home. Hey, Haiti, come here, baby. No, TMZ released it, but it wasn't TMZ that he talked. Hey, what happened? They cancel it?
Yep.
And you couldn't go stay the night over there?
I mean, I want to have a ride back tomorrow. So
Okay, so I could have driven mom to work and then come and picked you up.
Oh.
That's what I was trying to have your mom solve the problem.
Oh. She called me and she was like, can they bring you back? And I was like, no. And then she was like, oh, okay, then it's not going to work. And I was like, okay.
Work something out this weekend. I'll drive you wherever you want to go.
I'm pretty much probably going to Autumn's tomorrow anyway. So
Okay,
we're
well,
in the car.
if you clean the bathroom, you are.
I will. I was in the car with her. I was just like, can I come over tomorrow? She's like, sure. I was like, okay.
I lived with, at any given time, 2,200 to 5,800 men. I live with 30,000 on a base. I have never seen a head look like that.
They don't have long hair.
I don't care if it was co-ed bathrooms. Women.
It's like, the thing is,
This is a notification, not a conversation. It's a notification. This is not, there's really no dialogue in this one. This is where you just listen. I've seen bathrooms that were portable. I've seen them in the desert. I've seen guys who are drinking 8 bottles of water an hour. I have never seen a bathroom look like that. So I've seen gas station bathrooms in Lompoc and Compton, California, that look better than your bathroom. You are a young adult, beautiful, intelligent, talented young lady. And I'm telling you right now, if you ever have a bathroom like that and you find a man, he will leave you, because I almost left you and I'm your father. Get out.
Mom's is, I had to clean Mom's. It was the hair
We're
level.
not talking about your mother. We're talking about you. I am not your mother's keeper. I am your keeper.
Okay.
Get out. She's impossible to be angry with. She's so cool. She's got her new hair. It's like curly Q, curly Sue, and all over the shower, all over the walls, the floor, the toilet, everywhere. Just freaking everywhere. Makeup, the trash cans overflowing. The walls have like shiny stuff on a matte finish because of her hairspray. She does it while it's steamy in there. And you clean that damn thing. Anyway, she's a good kid. All right. So now that we've done that, I'm trying to think what 2016. So October 2020. It's 2016, excuse me. The grab 'em by the hoo-ha statement came out. And with that came Donald Trump just literally quitting. And something happened. We saw the Podesta emails continue to drip, and multiple stages of the leaks started to just continue to pour out, and it was just damning. And every time it's just drip, 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 bam, 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 hit Hillary. And it all came out, including the biggest smoking gun, which is when Donald Trump said that Barack Obama wasn't a U.S. citizen and was born in Kenya. Well, they found out that Podesta and the DNC Podesta and the Hillary Clinton campaign did that when they ran against Obama, I think in 2006. No, in 12. One of the two. I think it was 6 or 12. Let me see who ran against. I don't care. Well, he was the incumbent, so nobody ran. So it must have been 06. Yes, it was 06. So he was incumbent in 12. So, 08. 08, Hillary Clinton ran against Barack Obama because in 12, he was the incumbent. All right, so anyway, they found out that Podesta and Hillary made up this whole Kenya thing and didn't use it. Well, then they sold the op-ed to the Republicans, and the Kenya birther movement was born. But just like the Steele dossier, it was all funded by the DNC and Hillary Clinton. So I'm surprised that's not talked about. Nobody talks about that. That's a huge thing. I understand the Wiener emails and the 30,000 deletion and the bleach bit and all that. That stuff's huge. But that one is like, to say that Hillary Clinton started the birther movement against Obama, that's pretty big, right? That's pretty racist. And you think that would sink her, but it didn't. So then what happened? Comey, the FBI director, as we remember, if you guys can remember back this far, decided to go ahead and reopen the investigation on Hillary Clinton. Now, the whole reason why this happened is, it's huge, is the Attorney General went ahead and resigned herself from the case as a conflict of interest and recused herself. And by doing so, left kind of Comey with the bag on this investigation. And it was simply because the lines of delineation were absolutely pointing to the tarmac conversation with Bill Clinton and Hillary. And by her recusing herself, she wasn't going to go ahead and be in charge of it. There wouldn't be an ethics committee investigation, and she wouldn't be looked into. I mean, this was corrupt to the whole point. We all know how corrupt this crap was. So Comey, to save his own skin, to go ahead and also get out of jail free card, decided to go ahead and reopen the investigation for 7 days, 10 days, whatever it was. This had a massive impact on Hillary Clinton. Huge impact. And we saw the numbers start to tighten, down from 20 to 18 to 16 to 12 to 10. And then around, right like 2 weeks before the election, you saw about a 6 or 7 point swing for Hillary Clinton nationally, and the swing states were 4 or 5 points, and some were even higher. That's unbelievable. But either way, as a person who did not vote for Donald Trump in 2016, and I certainly didn't vote for Hillary Clinton, I voted down ticket, and I wrote in Ronald Reagan. I was in California, and I honestly didn't know whether I should believe Trump or not, who had Democratic ties, who had donated to Hillary's campaign, who was fairly liberal in his policies. But I hadn't really looked into him, and my political interests weren't as high. I was running a podcast that was pop culture and video games and stuff. I wasn't even into politics. I kind of walked away from politics because I got disenfranchised with the Republican Party due to the Tea Party movement. And once the Tea Party, and I was a big Ron Paul supporter too, and once Ron Paul left and the Tea Party became fanatical and was purchased by the Koch brothers, and the people like Paul Ryan came out of that, and Trey Gowdy and Michelle Bachmann, and just crazy religious zealots, sold America on that Sharia law was coming to the U.S. and I was like, I'm done. I'm out of here. I'm just done. And I kind of got out of politics, but I watched 2016 religiously, because I really cared about what was happening, and I knew we were getting out of California. I just didn't know exactly when. So I wanted to kind of see what was going on. And I don't know if that's the link I needed. Amy, I'm sorry. I'm trying to do the show and I got distracted so many times. Let me see. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Oh, cool. Who wrote that? Hold on. See, Amy distracted me. It's her fault. Christine Tower says, replying to Christine Tower, don't unfriend you. You are a goddamn arrogant shithead and a perfect example of the ignorance and idiocy that keeps the problems escalating. That's okay. Yeah, they can say that. That's great. You're fat. So it's cool. Okay, now that we've done that, let's go ahead and move on. Looking at the link that Amy, yes. I guess she's not going to cook me dinner, huh?
The future of your business.
So there's an ad on this. Harris explains why she should name a Republican and serve in her cabinet if elected. No, that's not it. No. I'm actually looking for the interview tonight. It's coming on at 9 o'clock on CNN. I'm looking for who's going to broadcast it. Okay? So that's what I'm looking for, Ames. It's okay. I'll find it when the time comes. So anyway, it's amazing that she. I hope you guys didn't ban her. Did somebody ban her? Wasted a vote on Reagan? Why is it a waste of a vote? It's California. We don't elect people by the Electoral College, right? It's the popular vote. It's not a waste of a vote. A waste of a vote is voting for someone who I don't know. I already explained to you what was happening. I went through several back surgeries. I went through some addiction issues with the medication I was on. I was in no shape to educate myself on the comings and goings. So no, I didn't waste a vote. I voted down ticket. I voted Republican straight down ticket. I just didn't vote for president because I was never going to vote for Hillary Clinton. And I don't believe in choosing lesser of two evils. I don't give my vote to people who don't earn it. So the things that Donald Trump, the way he acted, is that he was a blowhard. Until I saw his policies, I didn't buy into what he was saying. And a lot of people didn't. So I didn't vote for him. Nope. But I voted for him in 2020, and I'm going to vote for him in 2024. But you know what's funny is I know a lot of people who didn't, who say they did because they can't admit it. At least I admit the truth. So no, I didn't waste a vote. I don't have Hulu. Yeah, so I don't have Hulu. Anyway, we'll figure it out. But no, it's not a waste of a vote. It's a vote that I didn't listen. Anyone who was predicting what Donald Trump would do was saying that he was going to be the most liberal Republican we had seen in the White House. And until he released his judges, a lot of people didn't know what he was going to bring to the table because he wasn't very big on policy. He ran on fixing the economy and fixing America, but he didn't have a lot of policies in 2016 of what he was going to do. You could have wrote in someone you knew that is currently alive. Why would I? So they can't win? John, don't tell me how to vote. You see, John, John, you have no bearing on what I do. You don't get to tell me how to vote. I would never tell you how to vote. Where do you get off telling me what I should do with voting? It's my right. It's not yours. You have no right to tell me what to do. I voted for Ronald Reagan. I don't give a shit whether you like that or not. I'm sorry. I don't care. It's my vote. The fact that I'm even telling you, you should be honored. Because that vote is private. So I'm sharing it with you and being completely open that this is what I did. And I should have, I'm not going to sit here and worry about what happened 8 years ago. Why are you worried about what happened 8 years ago? Did he win? Yeah, you are, John. You're telling me exactly. You just said you could have. I know I could have. I've also, could have had a blonde with big tits and a Corvette, but I don't. If my grandmother had balls, she'd be my grandfather. But I didn't vote for Donald Trump. I voted for Ronald Reagan. So I don't really need to relitigate the case. I told you that I was uneducated on his policies. I stepped out of politics. I didn't have the exposure I truly needed until about 6 months before before the election. And there were so many things going on. So I don't owe you an explanation, man, at all. So sorry, John. But anyway, the whole point is 2016 although I supported Trump, I did not give him my vote because I felt that I did not toe the line and do enough research, but I did support him. I supported my wife. We lost friends over him in 16. So I don't know. I have a code of honor, I guess, where if I'm not completely understanding the policies of the person who I'm voting for, I refrain. Now, if I was in a swing state, I would have made a choice, but I'm in California. Anyone who thinks that their vote matters in Texas, California, or Florida, or New York, you're delusional. It only matters for the state and local elections. It doesn't matter for the federal because we don't care about the popular vote. It's the Electoral College, and there is no chance that California, Texas, Florida, or New York are going to swing. Okay, it's just not going to happen. Not this election. Very well, maybe one in a million chance. But either way, That one vote means nothing in California in 2016. It was completely blue. It wasn't even light blue. It was dark blue. Did you see the Project 2025 HQ hologram on the Trump building in Chicago? Yeah, I did. This is what Democrats do. They do petulant stuff. Yeah, I know it's on CNN. I'm going to find it. If I got to buy Hulu, I'll buy Hulu and stream it. And John, I'm not mad at you. I'm just, I don't know, man. Here's a problem that I have is when somebody comes out and says, hey, you know what? I did something, and it's not like in the norm, or it's not something that is going to be appreciated by people. They don't need to hear it, right? They're already coming out and telling you. It's like when someone says they're sorry and someone goes, yeah, you should be. And you're like, okay, you know what? I was humble enough to say I'm sorry and apologize to you. And now you just want to rub my face in it. So like, I know I should have voted for Trump in 2016, but I didn't. So I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and tell you I did. You know what I'm saying? So instead of saying, wow, man, you know, thanks for being honest, at least that you didn't do that. Yeah, that would be cool. But, you know, you should have at least voted for somebody alive. It would have made no difference. But that's just my opinion. So in reflection, shoulda, coulda, woulda. But anyway, let's go to 2020. Oh, 2016. We were at Disneyland. We had voted earlier that, John, I'm not coming down on you. I'm just saying, dude, nobody should ever tell another person how to vote or what they should do with their vote. It's just a personal thing. I believe a vote's private. I'm old school. If I came off as snappy, I'm sorry. I love you. You know that. You're on the show. I apologize. My bad. Okay. I'm in a mood tonight because I'm stressed because I don't have my wife who helps me keep everything grounded, and I've got membership questions. I'm trying to find the damn thing for Kamala. I'm trying to balance my daughter and a thunderstorm outside. A lot is going on tonight. All right. So I'm not in best form. So I'll chalk it up that I was a little sensitive. I love you. I appreciate you. Thanks for being you. Okay. All right. Great. John, we're done. I'm moving on. See, I apologize. Now we're done. So you go on to election day, and Olivia and I are in Disneyland. And we've got Hayden and Ethan. And Hayden is 6 years old. And Ethan is 3. And that's never easy. And we voted in the morning. We voted mail-in because we were in Cali. So we voted mail-in, and I was fine with that because we checked and I got my voted. That's another reason, because I voted early. I voted way early. So it was just, by the time I got in everything, it was only like 2 months, and I just didn't feel, okay, I've already explained it. So anyway, so we're in Disneyland, and like we start looking at I'm looking at the early polls coming in, and this is, you know, we're having breakfast. It's 10 o'clock at the Disney Resort. And, you know, East Coast has been, you know, doing exit polls. And they're just soft exit polls, and Trump is getting killed. And then like the whole day went by, and my back was hurting, and we were just, God, it was just a long day. And it must have been, we were going home that night. We're going to drive to Bakersfield, 2.5 hours away from Anaheim. And it must have been 10 o'clock at night. And we pull out of Anaheim, and I don't know where we are, like 20 minutes out of Anaheim. And we turn on the radio, and I go into the gas station, and I, you know, filling up my thing and getting the minivan filled up. And I go and walk to the front entry, and a guy comes out, and he looks at me, and he's like, tattoos. He's like, dude, Trump's winning. I'm like, what? He's like, I know. I haven't even turned on TV. I guess Trump's winning. And I say, get the out of here. Because by that time I was rooting for Trump, but I had already voted whatever a month and a half back. And, you know, so I was kicking myself. There's no doubt, but it doesn't matter. So I'm like, are you kidding me? And you can go back on my Facebook page, and I was doing political commentary then, and I was on Facebook, and I was challenging people. And, man, we turned on the radio, and we turned on the Young Turks, because we couldn't get any conservative channels to stream in California. And the Young Turks were on. And Cenk Uyghur is just crying like a blubbering baby. And Olivia and I are like, we're like Renfield, you know? We're so excited because we hate the Young Turks. So you got to understand, I was in politics. I just wasn't into it as much as I had been before. And we just keep hearing, you know, all these states just drop for Trump. And he's hitting blue strongholds. And we're like, what the hell is going on? And we stayed up till like 2:30 in the morning. And of course, Hillary wasn't going to go ahead and concede. We knew Trump had won. It was just obvious. I mean, even with California and Washington and Hawaii, there was no way. It was over. And of course, they had talked about her contesting and all this stuff, but there was no way. There was no chance. Yep, we did. The Bakersfield house. That's right. Yep. Markey. So anyway, we were so excited. And then the next morning, obviously, Donald Trump's next president of the United States. So there were a lot of ebbs and flows in that election. And it was close. That election was decided by 90,000 votes in 3 states. 90,000 votes in 3 states. And 2020 was even closer. 2020 was incredibly close. And although the total vote count wasn't as close, the overall electoral count and just going down to the wire was super close. Every Republican loses the popular vote. Reagan got the popular vote, and I can't even remember who else. Republicans don't win the popular vote because we're outnumbered. And they have California and New York, which isn't counteracted by Texas and Florida. Florida is exceeded by New York, and California has like 54 million people compared to like 32, 28, whatever it is for Texas. So of course you're going to get the popular vote. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I don't even know why we're talking about the popular vote. It's worthless. Not when it comes to president. Trump, everyone loses. And I never stated, John, that Trump didn't lose the popular vote. I just simply said he won the election. And how you win an election in the United States of America is winning the Electoral College. John, I'm not sure if you're trying to fuck with me tonight, but I think you are, and I'm down for it. I'm ready. So why don't you call in? You and I can face head to head. So 804-212-2208. I knew I wasn't being too sensitive. Call me. Yeah, let's get this out. Let's get this male bonding out. Let's get this frustration you're feeling. Let's get it out in the open. So if you want to fuck with me, let's do it in person. That's 2 times I've cussed. I'm not going to let there be a third. Call in, John, because you're starting to piss me off. So cool. Thanks. I don't need another wife. I'm already married. So then let's go to 2020. I do not get sensitive about top crust. Can I tell you how many people have sent me messages now that have said, you know what, dude, it's a tart. It's a quiche. It's not pie. See, so there's a lot of people. I am making a difference. People are starting to buy into what I'm saying. They're buying into what I'm saying. Pie has to have top crust. Okay. So now that we've done this, 2020, and you want to take a look at Biden, man, if you looked at what it looked like in 2019 in November till late February before COVID really hit. No, they can call in. No, I'm not getting into a debate with that person. You're right. I'm not supposed to be doing that. I'm going to stop. Okay. Call in, John. So take a look at that. Till the end of February, Trump was absolutely annihilating. There was like no chance. Everyone is like, it's very similar to where he was a month and a half ago before Kamala. But this is how quickly the winds of change can change, right? And it's not that the winds change. It's that they start asking different questions. Okay? So do you understand that this race between Biden and Trump was actually closer than what they said? And do you also know that this race between Kamala and Trump is closer than what they said? Just like it was closer than with Hillary, and it was closer than with what they said with Biden in 2020. In the end of the day, these general elections, no matter what, even with Mondale and Reagan, because people thought there was a possibility for Mondale, not a good possibility, but there would be a showing that would put some pressure. Yeah, 49-1. But in the end, these polls will tighten and show a 2 to 3% difference, which is within the margin of error of these general elections. So when you see all this, oh, it's 52% for Kamala to win and 48% for Trump, none of this matters. None of it matters because it's all going to come down to 2 to 3% anyway. And it's really going to come down to 90 to 120,000 votes. Just relax. These polls mean nothing. They didn't mean when Trump was up. They didn't mean anything when it's down. And that's just the way this works. And I just walked you through why. Take a look at March, right before March 2020. Donald Trump was destroying. There was his favorability numbers with COVID, where once those started, he had like a 71% approval rating with COVID. Do you understand? I mean, go look at the number. It's ridiculous. There was no way he was going to lose. The economy was just balls out. The lowest unemployment for every major demographic of peoples in like 50 years. The GNP was good. Stock market, record levels. Everything was fantastic. Everything. Hey, no one told me. Did we ban this Christine girl? Kristen? I want to get her on. Somebody go get her on. Anyway. So when we sit here and we freak out over these polls and everyone's like feeling all nervous and trepidatious, just knock it off. I'm not worried. I'll tell you, you want to know when I'm worried? If Florida goes blue. Okay? You want to know when I'm happy? If Pennsylvania flips. Because I told you 2.5 years ago, this election was going to come down to one state. Does anyone want to tell me who I said it was? Who's going to tell me for a free t-shirt? I'll get you a free t-shirt if you tell me the state. You only get one guess. Don't cheat. And don't just randomly throw it out there. If you know the answer, you know the answer. And people who've been watching me, I told you there's one state that will decide this election. What state's it going to be? Who knows? I'll wait. Who's going to get it? I'm so excited. Georgia. Tommy got it. First one. Yeah, when I walked through the Electoral College map like 2 years ago and told you there was no path to victory, I said it would come down to Georgia. I also said that when we were looking with Biden, that it would come down to New Hampshire. Pennsylvania is a big one. Pennsylvania was, if he gets Pennsylvania or Virginia, this race is over, is what I said. But the way the electoral map was looking, Georgia would be the key pinnacle. The reason why is because it's got a governor who's a Republican. But if you take a look at the overall state, the Senate and the state legislature, it's predominantly Democrat. But the overall sentiment in Georgia is that it's red or going to go red. But honestly, it's purple. Georgia. So Georgia is going to be a huge key player. Now, if Trump doesn't flip Pennsylvania, Virginia, Wisconsin, Minnesota, or Michigan, it's over. The race is over. This is why I said Nikki Haley was such a huge part, because he would have got Virginia. Tommy, remind me to send you a shirt. Yeah, if she listen, I told you there was no path to victory unless he took Georgia and took Arizona. He has to have those two. And then he's either got to flip Minnesota, Michigan, Wisconsin. Then he can lose Pennsylvania and Virginia, or he's going to lose Michigan, Wisconsin, Minnesota, and he's got to flip Pennsylvania and Virginia and still hold on to Georgia and Arizona. If he doesn't do that, it's over. The race is over. There is no path to victory. New Hampshire is what I said is that Nikki Haley would deliver. And that is against Joe Biden. What the polls were telling us was that Trump was going to take Georgia and Arizona. And I said, okay, so now that he gets Georgia and Arizona, If he doesn't flip Virginia or Pennsylvania, he's got to take Minnesota, Wisconsin, or Michigan, one of those. And the vote will come down to about 4 electoral votes, which will push him over the top if he gets it. And if he doesn't get New Hampshire, it's over. Remember? So Georgia was always the linchpin. And it was the linchpin back in 2020 as well, when we were disenfranchising voters with that runoff election for Senate. And I told people, please don't say stolen election. Please don't do this. We're going to get crushed. We're going to get crushed. And what happened? We lost 2 Senate seats to Georgia. We lost the Senate. And we haven't gotten it back ever since. Folks, Nikki Haley is not speaking for Trump. Why should she? I mean, really. Why should DeSantis and Nikki Haley get out there for Trump? Why? Would you, after being called sanctimonious and making fun of my wife and his hands and sicking Laura Loomer on both candidates, and Laura Loomer just going off and trying to set up Nikki Haley with affairs, cheating on her husband overseas, and talking about DeSantis and his wife not having cancer, and it was a sympathy ploy? I mean, really? Dude, there was a lot of dirty politics that took place. I got to hear it. A lot of people were really hateful. So we've got to remember, yeah, they endorsed him. That's it. They endorsed him. But so did Ted Cruz. Don't you remember? Ted Cruz did that in 2016. And then you never heard from Cruz again. He just checked the box, but he wasn't sincere. Yeah, Trump is having a town hall with Tulsi Gabbard. Wow. It's great. He's surrounding himself with Democrats. That's cool. RFK, now Tulsi Gabbard. You guys, I don't agree with this strategy. Tulsi Gabbard was one of the most progressive socialists in Congress. She's changed. Okay, well then Kamala's changed too, right? Kamala's new. She's changed. Kamala gave up her old policies, right? No. Leopard doesn't change their spots. And Tulsi's done nothing to earn that. Tulsi has done nothing to earn anyone to say that she's a conservative, because she's not. She's an independent, she says. But nobody's asked her the question. You still believe in unfettered access to abortion? Do you still believe in cashless bail? Do you still believe in cutting our military? Do you still believe in gun confiscation and banning assault weapons? What is an assault weapon, by the way? You're military. Do you still oppose the death penalty? Do you think that the minimum wage should be raised still? Do you believe that the United Nations should continue to receive funding? NATO should continue to receive funding at the level it is by the United States? I think we should ask her these questions. Nobody's asking her these questions. RFK, I like some things he says, but I also have a problem that this guy can believe that the moon is made of cheese. There's some questions I have for him. And I, although like him, and I think he's a great, probably the fittest president ever outside of Teddy Theodore Roosevelt, I don't like his policy. I don't believe in gun confiscation. I don't believe in late-term abortion. I don't believe in being wishy-washy on transgenders. Listen, if they want to endorse him, great. But I would not put them on the campaign trail. It's up to you guys. You guys can think whatever you want. All I know is that Trump has been bitten way too many times by surrounding himself with rhinos, neocons, and liberals who are supposed to now be conservative. He's been bit way too many times. So, but it does give hope to finding middle ground, a step forward. What middle ground? That RFK got screwed over by the Democratic Party, so he is just standing with Trump to pay them back? Is that the type of loyalty we're looking for? That Tulsi Gabbard couldn't make it in the Democrat Party, tried to run for president, supposedly knocked Kamala Harris out, and she did work Kamala, and then the party rejected her, and so she bails because she realizes she has a better opportunity to ride the middle. Is that the type of people that we want? Is that the type of loyalty that Trump looks for in people? People who it's strategy. What strategy? What strategy would that be? What strategy? People who are voting for RFK were Trump supporters, so he's going to go ahead and get a 1.5% to 2% bump. Great. Then just explain to me this. If this is strategy, then why do this? If he's going to go to Tulsi Gabbard and he's going to go to RFK, who's going to give him a scintilla of votes? Let's just say he gets a 2.5% bump. Okay, great. Why wouldn't you go to the person called Nikki Haley and make peace with her when she had 19 to 21% of national average of votes, Republican votes, in the primaries? We don't have common ground on issues. Angel, please tell me a common. We're going to be a fun night tonight. You should call in the show. What common ground do we have with liberals? I'll wait. He is not getting removed for the ballot. So how is that helping Trump? That's right. Why is Joe Biden not still on the ballot? It doesn't help him at all. Bringing over the anti-vax crowd. The anti-vax crowd is not coming over. The anti-vax crowd abandoned Trump and they will never come back. They will never come back. Trump locked us down first. Trump developed the vaccine. Trump is still pushing the vaccine. Up to 3 weeks ago, talked about the vaccine and the positive effects of it. He still loves the vaccine. This is one of the most uncomfortable things, and it's hard for me to do because people get upset and it hurts my show. The donations dry up, but I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. He gave Fauci a medal. These are the things that I have questioned on Trump, and I want people to question on Trump. If you don't question it, then we're just doomed to repeat it. I want Trump to answer that question. Why do you still push the vaccine with all the evidence that we have? Why did you give Fauci a medal? He lost the anti-vaxxers. There are plenty of conservative channels that I can list off for you that are completely anti-vax, anti-COVID. They hated the lockdowns and they are not coming back. They hate Trump. They will never come back. And getting RFK on the ticket, they think he's a traitor now. Every one of those shows, and there's a handful of them on Twitter and Rumble, are all like, you know what? I put my faith in RFK. He's a traitor. He went with Trump. He buckled. He bent the knee. We thought he was the person that was actually worth backing. They hate him now. The anti-vaxxers are never coming back. And the sad truth is that if you would have put Nikki Haley in a position where she was actually on the campaign trail and advocating for you and going to New Hampshire, going to Pennsylvania, going to Virginia, you would lock up one of those states and this race would be over. You know, I can only go off of what I've done since I've come on the show, which is predict these races and crush it. Who's on the phone? Is this Mel?
Yeah.
What do you want to talk about?
Of course it is.
Yeah.
On the part of the ballot stuff. Okay, RFK can't get off the ballot states, yet those states are trying to get Cornel West off the ballot.
Right.
And the point is that came up that in a conversation that I was with whatever. So why isn't Joe Biden still on the ballot?
Well, right. Well, no. Listen. If anyone thinks that the Democrats don't manipulate elections, I think I've proven that over 4 years by saying that they absolutely do. And they're going to continue to do these things. They're going to manipulate everything they can in their favor, and they have the authority to do so in the court of public opinion because Trump's a Nazi, right? Trump is Hitler. Trump is going to destroy our country, so we have to stop him at all costs. Angel says we are all dealing with the same things like inflation. No, we're not. Democrats deny that there is inflation that's harming Americans. They deny that food costs are high. They're saying it's price gouging. They deny that we're on a borderline recession because the stock market is good. They don't think there's a real estate crisis. They don't think interest rates are too high. They don't think gas prices are real. Angel, I don't know what you've been watching, kiddo, but Please, I'm waiting for you to tell me, what common interest do we have with liberals? Go ahead, Mel. What else did you want to talk about?
Nothing. It was just that really whatever, because of this ballot issue that they're making RFK stay on in two of the big swing states.
Right.
And Cornell, and they're trying to get Cornell West off of those ballots.
Right.
But technically, Joe Biden should still be on all the ballots in 50 states because he was the original. So his name should still be on there.
Oh, he still is, by the way. See, it's not the original. Okay. He is the duly elected Democrat National Convention representative. And what they did was simply swap out and replace somebody and said, this is your choice. They took away the primary. They took away the option for America and said, your vote doesn't count. Those 16 million people who voted for Joe Biden, they said, your opinion's not important.
Well, exactly. And that's my point is, so how is that really technically legal? Because he was technically duly elected to be on that ticket. He filed all of his paperwork and blah, whatever. So they just went and said, okay, magically, we're just
I'll tell you how. I'll tell you how.
I know, yeah.
Because the Democratic Party has bylaws that ultimately they get the final say in the election with super delegates. And they had a 24-hour contestation rule, and they ensured that there was no contestation because what they did is did not invite anybody who would contest. And they went ahead and ensured that everyone cast their vote verbally before the convention opened up. And they were not going to start that convention until they had a unanimous consent. That's what happened. That's what the Democrats do. They don't cheat. They manipulate. They cajole. They threaten.
They've been doing it for 100 years. So really,
yes.
There shouldn't be a shock. But that bit about that they won't let RFK off those two swing states so that they think that that's going to take the votes away from Trump. So
that's exactly right.
They're throwing all their eggs in their they're throwing everything at the wall right now. But I thought because they won't let Cornell go on or they want to remove him, but in the same states, but they won't let RFK come off. So, and Joe Stein, same. They won't let the two of them come off. So it's just, and that's what Joe Q public needs to know is that kind of deception that's going on out there. They don't, like I said, a lot of people they're busy. They're whatever. They're worrying about how to pay bills, eat, whatever, get gas. They're not worrying about the minutia of what the hell is happening on the underbelly of this whole thing. And that's the scary part is that part's not getting out. People are not saying, hey, this is not right. You should write a thing or whatever going, hey, well, how come RFK has to stay on these, whatever, but
it won't matter. But Mel, it won't matter because the people who are upset about it, nobody will listen to their voices. And the people who are not upset about it are the people who want this kind of thing. It's like Canada when they said, go after the conservatives. You remember this. They empowered Trudeau to punish the conservative movement and they wanted them hurt. They demanded them to be hurt at any cost, to be rounded up and stopped. So
and they still are at it.
Yes, of course they are. So, same thing here. We're one step away. I told you we're 3 years behind Canada. 3 years.
Yeah.
If they win again, they'll start hunting down Republicans and they'll start punishing them physically. They will start rounding up the ones who speak the most. This is nothing new, folks. This has gone on throughout Western civilization in the world, throughout history, is the oppression of government over its people. I'm surprised we lasted this long. To be honest with you, most governments don't last this long.
No, they don't. But it's let's dupe the people and now with this social media shit, I know Corey Lewandowski's back, so I'm hoping that he will open up and ignite the X platform again and just flood it with all this kind of shit going.
I've been saying it, Mel. You heard me. I'm for sale. Corey Lewandowski.
I've been saying it all along.
There's a lot of conservative voices Damani Felder and I, we will tirelessly work. There are plenty of us who will work for him. They're not doing it. The Democrats are paying blue check marks to shill. You're not, I'll do it. I'm voting for him. I won't hide it. I'll post my freaking returns for everyone to see. You're damn right I'm working for Donald Trump. I work for him now.
Well,
I happen to call him out on some of his bullshit is all I'm saying.
Yeah. And prime example again today or yesterday it came up. Tester is paying or bribing college athletes to vote for him to get him back. Like that should be brought to the public eye going, this is not allowed. Like that's, you can't do that. That's illegal. You can't buy votes. Like,
oh, you can. You can. They sent out 50 million ballots, kiddo, that were unsolicited, unregistered voters, people who had just moved and they said, oh, well, COVID was so hard and it's a 6-month wait at the DMV. These people didn't get to register to vote. We're sending them a ballot and we're assuming that they wanted to. That's not the way this works. I got registered. I was in COVID. I didn't have a Virginia driver's license. I literally had moved to Virginia 2 weeks after I moved here. We got nailed with COVID and it took me 6 months and then they declined it. And I had to get a piece of paper to vote. Then when I finally went in there, I wasn't even in the voter registry. I had to sit over an hour so I could vote. You work for your vote. I'm sorry. You do what it takes. But to send out unsolicited ballots, ridiculous.
Well, and it is. And that's what the Dems have been winning on for 100 years, whatever, because people are complacent. They don't want to do the extra mile. And then afterwards, it's like, and then bitch and complain. You have, in this one, if you don't do the right vote this time, and I don't care if you're a rhino, non-Trumper, like whatever, it's going to affect all of you because that one tax, that one, like, yeah, the increase or whatever, and the rollback, whatever, but that unrealized tax thing that they want to pull off, it's going to destroy everybody.
Well, it's going to push us over the 50 trillion mark. Real quick, I'm going to read this. Matt, I'm here in Blue Fort Wayne with all these Democrats, and this is what they're saying. They're like seeing that the two parties can find a way to work together despite differences. Democrats I'm talking to are blaming inflation, spending immigrants, and printing money backed by nothing. They didn't want Kamala. They are still not wanting to vote for her, but they will. Nothing you told me shows any policies that are in a line. Why are you still a Democrat then? If you believe that the nation's fiscal issues and the tax issues, the inflation issues, the economy is because of unfettered spending, immigrants, and printing money, there's only one group who's done that. Yeah. We had to pass a $2.1 trillion omnibus the day that Donald Trump was sworn in to get military defense funding that he knew we desperately needed, and pork barrel politics were passed through. That was the Democrats. He spent $6.3 trillion to the deficit. 2.1 of it was on his first day because of that, and then the rest was COVID. Donald Trump actually had a net positive growth in his time in office outside of COVID. Donald Trump was not the highest spent president ever. He's actually like 13th on the list. Bill Clinton's ahead of him. Bush is ahead of him. Ronald Reagan is ahead of him.
Yeah, I keep slamming my head on my deck going, I just don't understand how anybody that has at least 4 brain cells, like 1 or 2, like whatever, they cannot see that this is not going to be a bad thing, especially all these rich people, the Cubans, like Mark Cuban and all these Hollywood elites and their multi-million-dollar mansions. Do you know what this is going to cost you? An unrealized, like,
they don't care. Rich people don't pay taxes under Democrats. Wait a second. Rich people don't pay taxes under Democrats. The tax law doesn't change. The tax law stays. Hold on, Mel. Let me finish. Yeah, rich people don't matter. They're not going to pay under Republicans or Democrats. This whole crap that Democrats, they need to pay their fair share. They can't pay their fair share, supposedly, that you want them until you change tax law.
That's right.
So this is all dog and ponies. This is all mirrors, smoke and mirrors. This isn't true. Mark Cuban isn't going to pay any more taxes under Trump than he would under Biden or Harris, because they don't tax the rich. They hit the middle class. And because what the rich do is they run the businesses. So all they do is increase their margins by increasing price based upon the inflation of the dollar. And they make up and pass the lack of savings on to the customer. That's the way business works. That's why Democrats are ridiculous. Democrats are stupid. You can't stop inflation by punishing the rich. All you're going to do is create more inflation. You need to stop printing money. You need to stop, and you need to have these businesses feel the revenue and the margin decreasing and the demand lower. And then those rich people will make the right choice. But if they can just continue to raise prices and make the same amount of margins and be recession and inflation proof, then what incentive do they have to stop? Mark Cuban doesn't care.
Yeah. Well, of course he doesn't care. None of these Hollywood elites and all these whatevers that are, it's so nice to hear, camel toe and I'm like, no. You're shillers. You're full of shit because you think that you're not going to lose a nickel.
That's right.
And the rest of the world is going to pay, but you're going to convince.
I got to get you a satellite phone.
It blows me away. I don't have I have a financial background with the work now that I'm doing, whatever.
Hey,
but
Mel, I got breaking news.
Sorry.
I got to go. I got breaking news. I got to go. Sorry, just listen.
Okay.
It's my understanding that I'm waiting for confirmation. Just hold on. Okay, never mind. Sorry, I needed to check it, and it's not as bad as people are making it out sound. I guess in the motorcade with Biden and Harris that there was a police crash. This is old news. This is what I thought it was, but someone made a comment that there was an accident with a motorcade and a police officer was killed. This happened like 23 hours ago, and it was not as it's a big deal, of course, but it's not. A motorcade is a mile long, okay, and accidents happen, okay. So, and I pray for him, 100%. Pray for that officer. That's sad, but really, Kamala and Walz being in the title, you could have just said an officer went down on a bike, because it really has nothing to do with. Even though it was a motorcade for Walz and Kamala, people are using that for gotcha headlines, not being specific enough. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
They're trying to get the Trump assassination attempt headlines that with their going.
Right.
It's all smoke and mirrors.
I've got some other breaking news real quick. So I keep I have a green toothpick, and I'll do this quickly. And because I inherently have just horrible teeth, and this is what they look like. They little dental floss, and I keep them at the table because sometimes I get steak or like a kernel in my tooth, and I got to get it out because it hurts my gums. And what happens is, for years, my wife would take the tip and run it in the table and wear it down to a nub. And my daughter would do it. And they would go into the grooves of the table and then leave it on the table. And then I'd go and use it. I'm like, son of a. So my wife, I'm sitting at the table, and I haven't yelled in like 6-7 months. Like, I've been really good. And I'm sitting at the table. I'm like, son of a biscuit. Whoever keeps doing this, knock it the fuck off. I'm so sick of this. Just leave my toothpicks alone. And I finally snapped. and they're trying not to laugh, and they're like, well, it wasn't me. I said, no, I don't want to hear it. Every one of you have done it. So my wife just denies it. She starts blaming the kids, and we're kind of joking and laughing about it. So she's sitting there doing her homework right now, and she takes a picture. She's like, I found the culprit. First of all, that cat does not chew she just plays with them. Don't you, my cat, so you're telling me the cat jumped on the table, gnawed on it for a good 20 minutes, and then left it there. Your evidence is suspect. Nobody believes my wife. Come on.
Yeah, no. Yenny is not going to screw with your toothpicks.
Yeah. Jared says, Matt, do you have implants? No, I have no implants. Well, I have the I don't have the modern day implants, but I do have pin sets and screws in my teeth. So they didn't have implants when I was going through a lot of my dental surgeries, and I've had options like these are all fake, and they wanted to do implants, but it's like $30,000 a tooth. $10,000 a tooth. I'm not doing that. I'm 50 years old, and I'm like $40,000, or can I survive another 35 to 40 years on these teeth? So they put crowns on, and they're veneers, and they look great, but no, I have no implants. And the thing is that I've had full reconstructive. You can see the reconstructive surgery on my face. It's starting to show now that I'm older, and a lot of people see this indention. Right? I don't have a jawbone.
Yeah.
See that? It's all gone.
It is what it is.
Yeah, so there's not much I can do. Mel, love you. I'm going to show some videos. I'll talk to you soon.
Oh, okay, love you.
See you, kiddo. Bye. So let's, an Angel, I'm not saying that Democrats, I want to be clear. I'm not talking about your neighbors, because most Democrats that I know are good people. They're just great people. There's nothing wrong with them. I'm talking about the parties. And if somebody that you know is like, oh, it's because of inflation and printing money and illegals and never ending proxy wars, then why are they still voting Democrat, and why do they associate? That's the problem with Democrats. They stick no matter what. And a lot of people think that that's like honorable. I think it's stupid. I almost left the Republican Party when the Tea Party came about. The first Tea Party, I was like, oh, I'm all for it. Constitutionalists, libertarians, oh, I'm all for it. But when the wackos took it over, I was, no, I'm done. And I almost left. And I wasn't going to be, certainly not going to join the Democrats. But honestly, I had more in common with Democrats because I'm a socially liberal. I still am socially liberal. I'm pro-life. I truly am. But it's not a binary choice. It can't be. It can't be. Because it's not pro-choice either, because it's pro-life or pro-death. But in certain situations, you have to choose between the death of the mother or the death of the child. In certain situations, you have to consider a 13-year-old child who gets pregnant or raped with incest. That person needs an accommodation. There are accommodations. Condoms break. Things can happen. And although it's never the baby's fault, I do believe, like most Americans, 73% of Americans believe there should be some form in certain circumstances, and it should be extremely limited. That's what they said too. Remember 1970s, 80s? Liberals said, oh, we don't want to have abortions for birth control. We want to do it for extreme. It'll only be extreme circumstance. Yeah, that's what they said about the LGBTQ community. Oh, we're not going to push this on your young people. You can't anyway. It's all genetics. We're born this way. Now they have T-shirts, and the transgender community and bisexual community and two-spirit and all this crap. This is what they always do. They take a little bit and they frickin' just take it all. Yeah, I know Trump's life. I've done Trump a million times. I'm not doing Trump tonight, guys. I don't want to just listen to the rally again. I want to have a conversation with you. So I'm not doing Trump tonight. I'm sorry. The good news is we'll hear him 75 other times before the election. Yeah, cross the border to Canada and get free dental. No, I'm good. But thank you, Sherry, for telling us that he's live. I'm totally aware that he's live. I'm going to show the Kamala portion. Here is a video I wanted to show you in regards to Kamala Harris has released her CNN. Now you need to understand something. When you do if people are born that way, why are they trying to teach it? That's right. That's right. And if Democrats truly find that Democrats are responsible for their hardships, then why are they still voting Democrat? And why are they registered Democrats? See, it's simple. It's a good question. You can put that both ways. That's why I'm like, I don't have anything in common with liberals anymore. I used to. I don't. I disagree on guns. I disagree on the border. I disagree on taxes. I disagree on energy independence. I disagree on global security. I disagree on infrastructure. I disagree on the education system. I disagree on the pharmaceutical and insurance companies. I disagree on WIC and Medicare and Social Security. I disagree on their disposition towards morals and ethics. I don't agree with liberals on anything anymore. I can't identify with that party in any way, shape, or form. They're not liberal. I'm done calling them. They're leftists. It's a progressive leftist movement. It's no longer liberals. Conservatives are closer to liberals. Conservatives believe in classic liberalism, which is to help the individual, which ultimately helps the collective. The Democrats only care about the collective at the cost of the individual rights. Does that make sense? So here is the teaser trailer for Kamala Harris. And if this is the best they got, this is going to be a shit show. Because they would usually give the best clip to entice viewers, right? You want to tease it. Like when I have Damani Felder on, I'm not going to have Damani Felder, when he says something that is controversial to conservatives, like I just did with abortion, right? That you want people to watch. You don't want to put that on. Or if someone's just being introduced to me, you can't put something that is me challenging Donald Trump, because then people are going to be like, oh, this guy doesn't like Trump. No, I have a right to challenge my president. That's our job. It's the most American thing I can do. It's the most patriotic thing I can do. And I don't think Donald Trump would say that that's not true. Honestly, if Donald Trump was right here, which he's not, but if he was, I think he would tell, you know what? Challenging the president of the United States is one of the most democratic, republic, whatever you want to say, patriotic ways to be. Truly. He challenged Barack Obama, and he was a private citizen. So he can't sit here and say that it's not okay to do. Of course it's okay to do. Here is a tidbit. Oh man, this is cringe. And then I've got the unedited clip. Are you guys ready? Here we go.
How should voters look at some of the changes that you've made, that you've explained some of here in your policy? Is it because you have more experience now and you've learned more about the information? Is it because you were running for president in a Democratic primary? And should they feel comfortable and confident that what you're saying now is going to be your policy moving forward?
Dana, I think the most important and most significant aspect of my policy.
Don't trust anyone that doesn't look you in the eyes. Listen, there are times where, like, I will go up, I'll go to the creative side, I'll go down to the memory cortex. My eyes will do a lot of different things because it's a little bit different here. But I've been on national TV several times for Apple, for Comcast, and for Game Crazy. There's a Wii Fit commercial that I did. I mean, I've done things, and you look in the camera. She doesn't look in the camera.
Perspective and decisions is my values have not changed.
Evelyn says one of Reagan's mottos is to stop attacking fellow Republicans. Attacking. See, my idea of attacking is physical. I don't believe that I have ever been attacked or I've attacked anyone. Our definitions of attacked are different, Evelyn, and I'm sorry, but there are questions in this party. And I'm not attacking Republicans. I'm asking my government questions. And my loyalty is not to the party. My loyalty is to the Constitution of the United States and the people of this republic. And Ronald Reagan believed the same. Ronald Reagan didn't believe in infighting. He didn't believe Republicans, but he never censored the people. And he never told the people not to be despots at times. And they are, and they were. Ronald Reagan didn't censor people. The controversy around AIDS and the LGBTQ community was huge, and they picketed, and they were very loud opposing Ronald Reagan. He never shut them down. He never silenced them, and he allowed them to have a voice. Ronald Reagan would not agree that dissent is and challenging your government is not patriotic. No, he was talking about Republicans feasting on each other. I have no loyalty to the Republican Party, and I have no loyalty to the RNC, the DNC. I'm loyal to the Constitution and these great states, period. That was the oath I took. Ronald Reagan would not agree with your statement. He may have said Republicans should stop the infighting, of course, because he was all about team. Whether when he played football or even in acting, he was all about that. The Screenwriters Guild, we all need to stand up against the guild. For one and for all, he was the Three Musketeer mentality, for sure. But Ronald Reagan was never for, if you dissent against your government, then you are doing harm to the party. Because the funny thing is that he spoke out. I can give you 40 speeches where he spoke for the Russian people, that the Russian people needed to dissent. They needed to rise up. He even told them, Mr. Gorbachev, tear down that wall. Yeah, Ronald Reagan did not believe that everyone should fall in line for party. He didn't like parties. He was mostly a Democrat. I think Reagan's harmed the party when they criticize. I don't think Reagan believed that. Not from the people. Reagan was very much a proponent of people petitioning and challenging their government. He never, ever shut people down. Yeah, I think what you're referring to is the way that he talked about the party and the infighting that would take place, is people were stabbing each other in the back and people were disrespecting fellow Republicans. That's very different than me challenging Donald Trump sometime on his positions. Here's the thing. Even, Evelyn, if Ronald Reagan meant that, I don't care. I don't have it with me. Oh, yeah, I do. It's so dark in here. I don't know why I'm looking at this up. I know it by heart, but I want to get the quote. Damn it. I thought it was in here. Maybe it's not. Aha. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, of abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, or the right of the people to peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. I don't care what Ronald Reagan said. Even though I know he didn't mean it that way, I don't care. These are the books that I care about. And they're not human beings, because human beings are flawed. And these documents are perfect. There's never been a literary work better than the Bible. Constitution, Bill of Rights, and the Declaration of Independence are absolutely the stop all. I will challenge my government as I deem fit. I will challenge my political leaders to make them, not leaders, representatives, to be better. I don't have leaders. I'm the leader. I choose people to represent my interests and those of my family, those of my city, and those of my state. That's what I do. You should do the same. And I'm not saying you're challenging me. I'm not saying that you're disagreeing with me. I'm not saying that you're saying something that you're not saying. I'm just saying Reagan is one of my heroes. One of my heroes. But I really don't believe he was saying that people should not challenge a political party. And like I said, Reagan didn't like political parties at all. Okay, let's listen to the rest of this.
You mentioned the Green New Deal. I have always believed, and I have worked on it, that the climate crisis is real, that it is an urgent matter to which we should apply metrics that include holding ourselves to deadlines around time. We did that with the Inflation Reduction Act. We have set goals for the United States of America, and by
deadlines, time, Ladies and gentlemen, I believe that when you immerse yourself in water, you're going to get wet. That's as dumb as what she just said.
extension the globe around when we should meet certain standards for reduction of greenhouse gas emissions. As an example, that value has not changed. My value around what we need to do to secure our border, that value has not changed. I spent 2 terms as the Attorney General of California prosecuting transnational criminal organizations, violations of American laws regarding the illegal passage of guns, drugs, and...
Yeah, once again, you're talking about what you did. You're the Vice President of the United States. Why don't you talk about what you did as VP? Here is the secret video that I found that they didn't want you to see.
Locate the U.S. on a world map. Okay. Recent polls have shown a fifth of Americans can't locate the U.S. on a world map. Why do you think this is?
I personally believe that U.S. Americans are unable to do so because some people out there in our nation don't have maps, and I believe that our education, like such as in South Africa and the Iraq, everywhere like such as, and I believe that they should, our education over here in the U.S. should help the U.S. or should help South Africa and should help the Iraq and the Asian countries, so we will be able to build up our future for our children.
Thank you very much, South Carolina.
Barrio's like, I'm doing her later. Kamala Harris, everybody. And honestly, from South Carolina, and honestly, she's probably blacker than Kamala. I don't mean to be racist. It's not racist. Does that not sound like our Vice President of the United States? All right. Everyone says, is Trump doing a town hall? Is that what's going on? All right, hold on. I'll turn on the town hall for a second. Yeah, Elizabeth, I completely agree with you. Well, that's not true. Not all children, but yes, there are certain states where children are unable to have the same levels of education, and a lot of those are red states. I hate to say it. We have to do a better job of demanding our education system is not being left behind by big cities that are eating up the budget, where our rural communities are being harmed. You know? But my kids, I wish I could tell you that this is true, but my kids are so extremely well educated and their schools are so freaking good that they're some of the best in the country. And I don't pay for that other than my taxes. All right, let's go listen to this. Is the interview on? I thought she wasn't on till 9. I thought it was on at 9 Eastern. Because I don't have it right here. I'm going to try to find it. But I want to hear what Trump's got to say on this. So I didn't know it was a town hall. So yeah, I probably would have had it on.
Who has a question for you?
I ordered by even Democrats.
And then we had a bad election. I'll be very nice. I'm supposed to be nice when I talk about the election because everybody's afraid to talk about, oh, please, sir, don't talk about the election, please. You know, if you can't talk about a bad election, you really don't have a democracy if you think about it, right? But what they did, Tulsi, is they took back the oil production. The oil started going crazy. That started the inflation. Then they went back. They said, go back to where Trump was. The problem is that we would have been 3 times that level right now. We would have been so dominant over Russia and Saudi Arabia. Look, Saudi Arabia, Russia, a lot of oil. We would have had more. You know, we had something in Alaska, Anwar, that I created. I mean, Ronald Reagan wanted it. You remember? Ronald Reagan wanted it. They all wanted it. And I got it approved. Nobody was able to get it approved. I got it approved. And the first week in office, they turned it back. They said, no, it's the biggest site possibly in the world. Could be bigger than Saudi Arabia. Well, we're going to start that up. We're going to become the energy capital of the world. We're going to pay down our debt, and we're going to reduce your taxes still further. And your groceries are going to come tumbling down, and your interest rates are going to be tumbling down. And then you're going to go out, you're going to buy a beautiful house. Okay? You're going to buy a beautiful house. That's called the American dream. The American dream. Thank you.
Mr. President, I want to ask you a question about national security, but first I think it's important to point out what Luke is talking about, the cost of groceries, the cost of gas, the cost of housing, mortgages, rent, everything has gone up. Kamala Harris's plan that she has announced is government price controls. And I think it's important to touch on, you just laid out your plan. What's going to happen if Kamala Harris institutes price controls?
So that's a communist plan. It's never worked. And it's been tried by others. Believe it or not, Richard Nixon tried it. A lot of people tried it. It's been tried many times, and it always leads to the same failure. Tremendous inflation, lack of product. You don't have anything. The stores are not stocked. It has never worked. It's called control. They want control. And, it's been so often. And everybody that comes in, they say it. It sort of sounds great. We're going to go price control. Actually, when she announced it, she got absolutely slaughtered by even Democrats because it doesn't work. It's a known loser. So now she doesn't talk about it. Do you notice she doesn't talk about climate change anymore? She's not talking about it. You know why? Because people don't want to hear it. They want to live a good life. They want to live a life. They don't want to stop your industry with climate change. They used to call it different things. Global warming, remember? That wasn't working because it was getting a little bit cooler. So they said, what are we going to do? We'll call it global cooling. No. So they came up with the words climate change because that takes care of everything. Climate change. The climate's changing. But according to them, we're all going to be gone in about, 3 years left? They had 12 years, remember? So in about 3 years, let me tell you, we do have a problem, though. It's climate change, but a different kind of climate change. It's called nuclear.
Yes, that is Tulsi Gabbard conducting the town hall. Yes. Listen, folks, I just want to see 3 to 5 years of consistency from Tulsi Gabbard where she doesn't abandon all of her principles and go to a new belief structure. I'm sorry. I don't trust anyone who I would have more respect for Tulsi Gabbard. She says, I'm leaving the Democrat Party because I don't align with them. I don't align with Republicans at all either, but I can't stand what they're doing to kids. I can't stand what they're doing here and here and here. And I am going to do what I can to oppose them. But just from an independent perspective. Yeah, that's not what she said. She has completely stayed out. She is being Pasadena, passive aggressive. She is just sitting back. She is not talking about her beliefs, talking about her policies. She's not speaking out against Democrat policy. She's riding the wave, folks. And to me, I don't like it. I don't like it. I think it's cheap. Take a stand. And you should be espousing, listen, I was a Democrat. I believed in abortion. I believed in cash bail. I believed in progressive DAs. Or I didn't believe in cash bail. I believed in progressive DAs. I believed in cutting the defense funding. I believed in confiscating guns. Here's why I don't. But I don't hear any of that. Just saying.
global warming. We can say that's global warming. And if we don't have a smart president, you have 5 nations now with pretty massive nuclear power. Some have very massive, including us and Russia. China's behind, way behind, but within 4 or 5 years, they'll catch up. And we don't want them to catch up. Look, the biggest problem, in my opinion, the biggest problem.
Roxanne, why didn't you think it was Trump's best town hall? What did he do? How did he do? Talk to me.
Our country has the biggest problem the world has is nuclear weapons. They are a destructive force, the likes of which nobody has ever seen before. And we have to make sure they're never used. We have to make sure it's not going to happen.
You're exactly right. And you brought up Ronald Reagan already. Ronald Reagan famously said, a nuclear war can never be won and should never be fought. And I think it's interesting you talked about climate change, Mr. President. The Democrats and Kamala Harris, they were quick to talk about how climate change is an existential threat. But what they're not talking about is the existential threat of nuclear war and World War III, which is exactly where we sit today because of the warmongers and their puppets, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. And they don't want to talk about it because the consequence.
Good job, Jared. Make it happen, buddy. Work it out. It's a commitment. And what's funny is I started looking at the time. Go look if you have a TV app. Go look how many hours you watched last year. Look how many hours you played video games. Look how many hours you maybe were on your phone, and it'll be hundreds of hours. And ask yourself, could you have taken 10% of those hours, 400 hours, and spent that working out each week? And the answer is absolutely. Everyone's like, I don't have the time to work out. No, you make poor choices. Your time management sucks. That's the truth.
Of where they have taken.
It's not that I don't believe Tulsi Gabbard. I'm not going to believe Tulsi Gabbard until she proves that she's loyal to the conservatives. And that's it. Sorry.
All of us, as the American people and the world.
Hey, holy moly. Thank you. Whoever did that, I really, really appreciate it. I'm assuming it's someone in Canada because whatever. The point is, thank you. We have hit our goal for the month. Appreciate you so much. That means a huge, huge deal for our show. Thank you. Every month we're trying to hit this goal, and it just takes the pressure off. So 3 days we can not sweat, and then we got to go back and do it again. But thank you so much for your help. We can't thank you enough. Mel.
Is economic hardship around the world, a destruction of our economic well-being, and an annihilation of humanity, our families, our kids, our communities around the world. There was a recent poll that YouGov did that pointed out over 60% of Americans feel that World War III and nuclear war is going to happen within 5 to 10 years. And when I heard that, I felt so sad because they're at a point where they feel like this outcome, the annihilation of the world, is inevitable. So I wanted to ask you about this because it's...
I'll tell you what. There's one thing I noticed about Donald Trump. He doesn't do well when other people talk forever. If I ever have the honor of interviewing Trump, I am not going to say hardly anything. I'm going to listen. And I'm going to let him set the tone. And I'm going to ask questions, and some of them are going to be uncomfortable, but I'm not going to do what Tulsi's doing here. You're not running for office. This is why I don't trust Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi Gabbard wants to run for office. Tulsi Gabbard wants to get higher political office. I just don't trust her yet. And I'm sorry. I don't know if I ever will. You can't believe in what she believed in 2 years ago that were some of the most batshit crazy leftist policies and then convince me that she has abandoned all of them. I'm sorry. You just can't do it. That's it.
Important that people understand what kind of leader.
Yeah. She wants out of never-ending wars, but she wants to cut the defense budget too. So whatever good that Tulsi Gabbard has, she loses me with the 10 other things that she wants to do. I'm all about never-ending wars ending too, but I'm not for cutting the defense budget in any way, shape, or form. You know what I mean?
you bring, what you will do to stop this slide towards nuclear war and World War III so that we can feel hopeful again.
Well, thank you. So, Viktor Orban, a very strong leader from Hungary, Prime Minister of Hungary, they asked him recently about what's the problem in the world. A few years ago, during my time, we had no problem. We didn't have Israel being attacked. We didn't have Russia attacking Ukraine. And they asked him, why is it so bad now? The Middle East is on fire. So many places are on fire, and there are plenty places that could very well and very quickly catch on. What's the problem? He said, you have to bring Trump back as president of the United States. You will have no problem. He single-handedly kept things, and it's true. And I could do it.
Why are we talking about Tulsi when we're supposed to be watching? We're not supposed to be watching Trump at all. This is bonus coverage. And I'm talking about Tulsi because I want to.
Telephone calls by being smart, but literally he said you have to bring Trump back. Now, he used a term I wouldn't use. He said everybody was afraid of Trump. You know who was afraid of Trump? They said China was afraid of Trump. Russia was afraid of Trump. They were all, and I don't want to say that. I will say this. They respected me and they respected our nation. They don't respect our nation anymore. They don't respect our nation anymore. Think of it. What would the world be like if Russia didn't do what they did, and they would have never done it? I used to speak to Putin about it. I had a very good relationship. No chance. You know what happened, I think, Afghanistan, when he saw the horrible leadership that we displayed in Afghanistan, I think he said, wow, this is a time to go in, because I wasn't there. He would have never done it if I was president, and Israel would have never been attacked. Think of it. What would this world be like? You wouldn't have had that disaster. And it wasn't leaving Afghanistan, and they should have kept Bagram.
I'm sure that Tulsi will be a part of his campaign and his administration. That's fine. If that's what he wants to do, I'm just letting you know Trump has tried to put liberals and neocons around him before. And how did that work out?
Base. It's 1 hour away from where China makes its nuclear weapons. They didn't keep it. You know who occupies it now, Tulsi? China occupies it. So we have, if you have the right president, and we don't right now, do we even have a president? He just came in, think of it. He just came in from wherever the hell he went. You know, there was a coup. He just didn't know it yet. But there was a coup. How about that? He got 14. I'm not a fan of his. He was the worst president. But,
you're not?
But think of this. He got 14 million votes. She was the first one to leave, you know. Kamala was the first one to quit. She never made it to the first state in the primaries, which was Iowa. Never even came close. Other people did, but she never even came close. And all of a sudden, she was picked, and she's now running for president. And look, it just started, really. It just really started. The polls have us up here. We're up in this state. We're up in states, but it's close. It's close. It's close. And, you know, they cheat like hell, so we don't want to have it too close. But we have, because we have to win this. We're not going to have a country. But with him, I was so far up.
I mean, I guess Kim Jong-un looks like a leader in that estimation, but those are comments similar to things he said, obviously, about women before.
Sure. And look, yes, I think that you are going to see him.
I'm going to try to figure out how to do this. CNN doesn't want anyone watching this, folks. They literally don't want you watching. Ugh, so stupid. I can't believe this. I am not buying Hulu for this. I'm just not doing it. You know, I'm just not doing it. This is so stupid. I got to try to find it while we can. I got a 9-minute preview on CNN. What does that do? All right. We've already done so many free trials with them. Are you kidding me? Let me see if I can. They usually check my IP. And I can cloak it and all that. I just... Let's do this. Sign up for Hulu only. It asked me my gender. God, we have this thunder and lightning have been going off the whole time, man. That is crazy. And going, it's right over our heads too. It's been like the whole show. I don't want to personalize my profile. Piss off. Okay. I don't want to do any of this. Daytime and news. Okay, good. Okay, finish. Piss off. Just let me watch the stupid thing, please. TV. I'll go CNN. Are you kidding me? I got to pay $100. There's no way. I'm not doing that. Why would I do that? Forget it. I just wasted it. It's so stupid. So stupid. Dude, fuck Hulu. And fuck all of these people. It's not worth it. I'm canceling it. Don't charge me $80. No way. No way. Cancel my subscription and go suck a dick. All right, I'm going over. Oh my God, you're why? Why are you canceling? Because you suck. That's why. We'll miss you. Yeah, you can blow me. All right, let's see. I think I can get it here. Okay, here it comes. I think we're gonna get it. I got.
Good evening, we're live. Savannah, Georgia, I'm Dana Bash, and this is a state very much up for grabs. In between a whirlwind series of stops, I sat down with the Democratic candidate for president and her running mate today at Kim's Cafe here in Savannah. Inside, nothing was off the table, and you will see our interview in its entirety. The vice president first as her party's standard bearer, responding to her critics and answering our questions.
I got you covered.
Welcome on board. Thank you. It's good to see you. This is not where Vice President Harris thought she would be. We're going to Georgia.
Yes. 7th trip there this year for me.
A surprise nominee for president just months from Election Day. Set in motion after a stunning debate.
Look. Meow. We finally beat Medicare.
Some within your own party
are wondering if
Somebody
President Biden
once
should even step
told me
aside. What do you say to that?
the world is gonna. Dude, shut up.
Blow me.
I'm streaming it from somebody else, so unfortunately we have to hear him talk.
Finish.
What's going on here? Is this still?
They're playing a preview, dude.
Is this all just fluff footage?
Yes, it's fluff. Shut up.
This is all just fluff footage.
Yes, shut up.
They're ball washing.
Yes, shut up.
Oh my God, she's just like me. She's black.
He's not bad. I'm going to
just so everyone knows who is tuning in. Chat, what do we do here? We commentate. Okay?
Yeah, it's okay.
The one thing I can ask, and I know we're going to get a lot of new viewers tonight, first-time viewers tonight, okay?
I love it. He's going to preach
if you get a chance, there's a green follow button down below the video.
I like him.
Click it now.
I'm going to follow him right now.
So you can follow me. Not only do
I'm going to follow him right now. There we go. I'm going to follow him. See? He's like me. He's like, that's the reason I was kidding, by the way, because that's what people do. Stop talking. Be quiet. We want to watch this. No, I'm not going to. No. You're going to watch me
stream
make fun of
Monday
her.
through Friday channel. If there's a little green button right here, just click the follow button and watch my live show every day at 1 Eastern. Yes, I know there's no sound, dude. It's here we go.
First and foremost,
Dude,
one of my
we all have the same
highest
struggle. I gotta love this
priorities is
guy.
to do what we can to support and strengthen the middle class. When I look at
Fact check, McDonald's says she doesn't work there.
aspirations, the goals, the ambitions of the American people, I think that people are ready for a new way forward. In a way that generations of Americans have been fueled by hope and
Why does she always sound drunk?
I think, sadly, in the last decade, we have had in the former president someone who has really been pushing an agenda and in an environment that is about diminishing the character and the strength of who we are as Americans, really dividing our nation, and I think people are ready to turn the page on that.
So what would you do?
What about Joe Biden?
Day one, it's going to be about, one, implementing my plan for what I call an opportunity economy.
Which is
I've already laid out
nonsense.
a number of proposals in that regard, which include what we're going to do to bring down the cost of everyday goods, what we're going to do to invest in America's small businesses, what we're going to do to invest in families, for example, extending the child tax credit to $6,000 for families for the first year of their child's life to help them buy a car seat, to help them buy baby clothes, a crib. There's the work that we're going to do that is about investing in the
She looks like
American
garbage for
family
47,
around
just
affordable
saying.
housing, a big issue in our country right now. So there are a number of things on
Donald
day
Trump
one.
maintains
What about
a half a cent
Well, I'm
lead in the
excited
betting
about
market.
this agenda, too. As I said, the idea of inspiring America to what can be. And I think many of these things that the vice president's proposing are
Unburdened by what has
are
been?
things that we share in values. And the child tax credit is one we know that reduces childhood poverty by 1/3. We did it in Minnesota to have a federal partner in this.
You mean tax?
Unbelievable,
You mean
I think,
Trump's?
in the impact that we can make.
You talked about, you call it the opportunity economy. You are well aware that right now many Americans are struggling. There's a crisis of affordability. One of your campaign themes is we're not going back. But I wonder what you say to voters who do want to go back when it comes to the economy specifically.
Ooh. That's a good question.
Groceries were less
I
expensive.
did not expect
Housing
that.
was
That's a good
more
question.
affordable when Donald Trump was president.
Well, let's start with the fact that when
She's
Joe
lying.
Biden and I came in office,
Up and to the left.
Oh, it was all COVID's
during the
fault.
height of a pandemic,
Yes,
we
of course,
saw
COVID.
over 10 million jobs were lost.
Up and to the left, lying.
Because your
People,
dumbass.
I mean,
sorry,
literally,
sorry.
we were
I'm with
all
him.
tracking
I'm with
the
him.
numbers.
Dude, I get you.
Hundreds of people a day were dying because of COVID. The
220
economy had
million
crashed.
died from COVID.
In large part, all of that because of mismanagement by Donald Trump of that crisis.
Give me
When
a
we
break.
came in, our highest priority was to do what we could to rescue America. And today,
Oh my
we know
God.
that we have inflation at under 3%. A lot of our policies have led to the
25%
reality that
accumulated,
America
you
recovered
lying
faster
sack of
than
crap.
any wealthy nation around the world. But you are
47 months, 25%.
Prices, in particular for groceries, are still too high. The American people know it. I know it. which is why my agenda includes what we need to do to bring down the price of groceries. For example,
Bitch, what did you
dealing
do
with
the
an issue
last
like
4
price
years?
gouging.
Yeah, no shit.
What we need
Price
to do to
gouging. I
extend
gotta call
the
this
child
guy.
tax credit to help young families be able to take care of their children in their most formative
She
years.
smokes crack.
What we need to do to bring down the cost of housing. My proposal includes what
How
would
are
be
you
a
gonna do
tax
that?
credit of
How?
$25,000 for first-time home buyers, so they can just have enough to put a down payment on a home, which is part of the American
First-time home
dream
buyers.
and their aspiration, but do it in a way that
Money
allows
machine go
them
burr.
to actually get on the path to achieving that goal and that dream.
So you have been vice president for 3.5 years.
Yeah.
The steps that you're talking about now, why haven't you done them already?
Whoa!
Well, first of all, we had to recover as an economy. And we have done that.
Whoa!
I'm very proud of the work that we have done that has brought inflation down.
CNN.
To 6%. The work that we have done to cap the cost of insulin at $35 a month for seniors. Donald Trump said he was going to do a number of things, including allowing Medicare to negotiate drug prices. Never happened. We did it. So now, as I travel in the state of Georgia and around our country, the number of seniors that have benefited. I was in Nevada recently, a grandmother who showed me her receipts.
Whoa!
And before we capped the cost of insulin for seniors at $35 a month, she was paying hundreds of dollars, up to thousands of dollars.
What
a
does
month
insulin have to do with?
She's not doing that
So
anymore.
you maintain Bidenomics is a success.
I maintain that when we do the work of bringing down prescription medication for the American people, including capping the cost
Here we
of
go.
the annual cost of prescription
Just
medication
answer the
for seniors
question,
at
lady.
$2,000, when we do what we did in the first year of being in
CNN
office
is
to
getting her.
extend
So
the
you want
child
more of the
tax
same.
credit so
Just
that
say you
we
want more of
cut
the same.
child poverty in America by over 50%.
Yeah, more of the same. No, you
didn't.
When we
More
do
of the
what
same.
we have done to invest
This
in
guy
the
and I are gonna
American
tag
people
team
and
the shit out of
bringing
this.
manufacturing back to the United States so that we created over 800,000 new manufacturing jobs, bringing business back to America. What we have done to improve the supply chain so we're not relying on foreign governments to supply American families with their basic needs.
Why'd you allow
I'll
that?
say that that's good work.
Say it.
There's more to do.
Ask
but
her.
that's good work.
Why'd you
I
allow
want to
it?
get some clarity on where you stand on some key policy issues. Energy is a big one. When you were in Congress, you
Fracking.
supported the Green New Deal.
Yep.
And in 2019, you said, quote, there is no question I'm in favor of banning
Yep.
fracking.
Oh,
Fracking, as you know,
okay,
is a really
CNN,
big issue,
okay.
Fact checks.
particularly in your must-win state of
Yep.
Pennsylvania.
Come on.
Do you still want to ban fracking?
No, and I made that clear on the debate stage in 2020.
I thought your values haven't
that I
changed.
would not ban fracking.
You
As
lying.
vice president, I did not ban fracking. As president, I will not ban
So,
fracking.
so you do have power as the vice president to ban
2019,
things.
I believe.
Then why
in
didn't
a
you
town
close the
hall,
border?
You said you were asked, would you commit to
Why didn't you
implementing a
stop
federal ban on fracking
unregulated
in your first day
government
in office?
spending?
And you said there's no question I'm in favor of banning fracking.
She's
Oh
so
my
toast.
God, they
It
did
changed
it.
in,
She's so
in that
toast.
They
campaign.
called her out.
She's so
In
toast.
2020, I made very clear where I stand. We are in 2024, and I've not changed that position, nor will I going forward.
You're a liar.
I kept my word, and I will keep my word.
Oh my God! No, you
What
didn't.
made
You just flip
change
flop
that
three.
position at the time?
Wow, CNN.
Let's be clear.
Wow.
My values have not changed.
And you said there's no question I'm in favor of banning fracking.
Oh my
So
God, they
it
did
changed
it.
in that
They
campaign.
called her out.
In 2020, I made very clear where I stand. We are in 2024, and I've not changed that position, nor will I going forward.
The reason why, real quick, is CNN is charging four payments of $89.99 in order to join. I don't get CNN on Fubo because they don't like the Communist News Network, and I have never streamed anything from CNN. I usually do recorded clips, and I signed up for Hulu, and then they wanted $79.99. So I just went on Rumble, and I'm streaming this guy. His name is The Quartering. He's got a lot of followers. Go say hi to him. Go see him. I already followed him, and I already gave him props. So he's talking. I'm talking too. At this point, who cares, right? I mean, it is what it is.
My word, and I will keep my word.
What made you change that position at the time?
Wow, CNN.
Let's be clear.
Wow.
My values have not changed. I believe it is very important that we
Wow.
take seriously what we must do to guard against what is a clear
Can you-
crisis in terms of the climate.
Nobody's right.
And to do that, we can do what we have accomplished thus far.
Wow.
The Inflation
At
Reduction
least I
Act,
pause
what we
it.
have done to
I
invest
can't
by
believe
my
they called her out.
calculation, over 10,
At least when I talk, I pause it. And I try not to talk over them. So this isn't me. Watch my mouth. It's him. I can't listen. It's free, folks. I'm not paying $400 for CNN.
probably $1 trillion over the next 10 years.
Bazillion
investing in a
dollars.
clean energy economy. What we've already done, creating over 300,000 new clean energy jobs.
What's that?
That tells me, from my experience as vice president, we can do it without banning fracking. In fact, Dana, excuse me, I cast the tie-breaking vote that actually
tax
increased
tips?
leases for fracking
That's-
as vice president. So I'm very clear about where I stand.
No, you passed the tie-breaking vote for the infrastructure bill that had nothing to do with infrastructure. Let's be clear.
And was there some policy or
Do you hear
scientific
police
data that you
sirens?
saw that you said, oh, okay, I get it now?
What I have seen is that we can grow and we can increase a thriving clean energy economy without banning fracking.
Another issue,
She's
big one,
getting
is
frustrated.
immigration. As vice president, you were tasked with
Just remember what I told you. I said the honeymoon's period will be over soon, and people are going to remember why they didn't vote for her for president really quick. So it's not going to take long.
addressing the root causes of migration
Oh.
in southern
Borders
countries.
Borders are.
Northern part of Central America that affects the southern border of the U.S. During the Biden-Harris administration, there were record numbers of illegal border crossings. Why did the Biden-Harris administration wait 3.5 years to implement sweeping asylum restrictions?
Well, first of all, the root causes work that I did
Donald
as vice
Trump.
president, that I was asked to do by the president, has actually resulted in a number of benefits, including historic investments by American businesses in that region. The number of immigrants coming from that region has actually reduced since we began that work. But I will say this, that Joe Biden and I and our administration worked with members of the United States Congress on an immigration issue that is very significant to the American people and to our security, which is the border. And through bipartisan work, including some of the most conservative members of the United States Congress, a bill was crafted, which we supported, which I support. And Donald Trump got word of this bill that would have contributed to securing our border. And because he believes that it would not have helped him politically, he told his folks in Congress, don't put it forward. He killed the bill. A border security bill that would have put 1,500 more agents on the border. And let me tell you something, the Border Patrol endorsed the bill. And I'm sure in large part because they knew they were working around the clock, and 1,500 more agents would help them. That bill would have allowed us to increase seizures of fentanyl. Ask any community in America
She knows
that
about
has been
fentanyl,
devastated
yeah.
by fentanyl, what passing that bill would have done to address their concern and a pain that they've experienced.
So you would push that legislation again. I just want to
Not
ask
only
about
push it, I will make sure that it comes to my desk and I would sign it.
just one other question about something that you said in 2019 when you first ran. There was a debate. You raised your hand when asked whether or not the border should be decriminalized.
Folks, due to the kindness of the Don't Unfriend Me Show fans, we have hit our goal for the month. In August, we always try to have a very humble goal that is that covers the base of the show and what it costs to stream and what it costs as putting the work in to do this. It's not a cheap thing. It's always expensive. We're having a new app that's going to be released. It's in the process of being approved by Apple and Google as we speak. And it'll be a full app. You can watch the show live. You can go ahead and make comments. You can join the DUM Club there, shop, watch all of our old shows, listen to the podcast, get news updates, chat with all the people in the show. It'll be awesome. These type of things aren't free. So if you can help us, we appreciate it. Going to linktapgo.com/thedumshow. Thank you. And we're going to play the rest.
Do you still believe that?
What?
I believe there should be consequence. We have laws that have to be followed and enforced.
She's lying.
That address and deal with people who cross
Progressive
our
attorney,
border illegally.
whatever.
And there should be consequence. And let's be clear, in this race, I'm the only person who has prosecuted transnational criminal organizations who
Oh, my
traffic in
God.
guns,
Give me a
drugs,
break,
and
lady.
human beings. I'm the only person in this race who actually served a border state as Attorney General to enforce our laws. And I would enforce our laws as president going forward. I recognize the problem.
Generally speaking, How should voters look at some of the changes that you've made, that you've explained some of here in your policy? Is it because you have more experience now and you've learned more about the information? Is it because you were running for president in a Democratic primary? And should they feel comfortable and confident that what you're saying now is going to be your policy moving forward?
Flip-flopper.
Dana, I think the most important and most significant aspect of my policy perspective and decisions is my values have not changed.
Yes,
You
they
mentioned the
have.
Green New Deal. I have always believed, and I have worked on it, that the climate crisis is real, that it is an urgent matter.
Look at Tim
to
Walz,
which we
this
should apply
fucking- I'm
metrics
sorry,
that
this
include
cuck.
holding ourselves to deadlines around time.
I do have a lifetime
We
pass to
did
the
that
cookout.
with the Inflation Reduction
Wolfpack.
Act. We have set goals for the United States of America and by extension the globe around when we should meet certain standards for reduction of greenhouse gas emissions. As an example, that value has not changed.
Yes, it has.
My value around what we need.
Thomas says, did you let that guy know you are streaming his stuff? I think you know me well enough. What do you think I did? Of course. Not only did I follow him, I asked everyone else to follow him, and I notified him in chat. Of course I did. Yeah, but all I'm doing is streaming him doing what I do, which is at least I pause it. He doesn't pause it. So, but anyway, yeah, I told him.
To secure our border. That value has not changed.
Secure
I
our
spent 2
border?
terms as the Attorney General.
You said illegal
in
immigrants are not
California,
criminals.
Prosecuting transnational criminal organizations, violations of
criminal
American
organization.
laws regarding the
Criminal
illegal passage of guns,
organization.
drugs, and human beings across our border. My values have not changed. So that is
They
the
have.
reality of it. And 4 years
Bigly.
of being vice president, I'll tell you, one of the aspects to your point is traveling the country extensively. I mean, I'm here in Georgia. I think somebody told me 17.
He won't follow back. Rumble, I love Rumble, but Rumble doesn't love me. And you have to be extreme. You have to just be like totally alt-right. And I'm not that way. I've never been that way. I will say some of the same things that he does, but I just don't have that. I think people get confused by me. They go, this guy should be in a suit the way he talks, but he's dressed like, you know what I mean? Blue collar. And I don't talk that way. I think people don't trust me sometimes because they go, this guy talks like a Fed. I was a Fed. So it's kind of hard not to it's hard to shake that sometimes. But anyone who's watched my show knows who I am. I'd love for him to follow me, but yeah.
Since I've been
He's it's called The Quartering is his page. It's over on Rumble.
president in Georgia alone, I
So?
believe it is important to build consensus. And it is important to find a common place of understanding of where we can actually solve problems.
On that note, you had a lot of Republican speakers at the convention. Will you appoint a Republican to your cabinet?
Yes, I would.
Anyone
Yes,
in
I
mind?
would. No one in particular in mind. We got 68 days to go with this election, so I'm not putting the cart before the horse. But
We know this answer already from this. I just want a quick station break. If you're just watching to see Kamala, I understand. I respect it 100%. But I do a live show every single Monday through Friday at 1 Eastern. And there is a simple green button right down below the video that I would hope you would hit. It's right here. It says follow or unfollow. Follow me for daily shows at 1 Eastern. Plus, every time you need.
Hey guys, if you're over on Rumble or on Wimkin or on Facebook or on YouTube or anywhere else watching this show, if you could follow, like, and subscribe like this guy, I would appreciate it. Thank you so much.
This every time you need somebody to stream this stuff, I got you. All I ever are brand new. Please send the email. New doing the work. This channel right now on premium. It's from Rumble, one that is incredibly important for the survival.
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to show anymore.
Company.
I'm not sure. I think it's because it's commercial. I'm going to play it all tomorrow anyway. Listen, I told you she is bad. She's always been bad. People don't believe her. There's no contrition. There's no remorse. There's no accountability. The American people want to hear that right now. They want to hear somebody who can align with them. And the truth is that Donald Trump, although he can go on and on and on, he aligns with the middle class. As a billionaire, he's already proved that in 2 elections. Don't forget, he has got the second most votes ever by a presidential candidate. We all know who had the first. Let's listen to the rest.
Show on Rumble is the most they can do. They can ask from you. But if you really believe in this fight, which I think everyone should do, I'm a Rumble Premium member myself too. Join the community that believes in First Amendment and believes in our human right to free speech. Rumble is offering $10 off with promo code STUDIO when you purchase your annual subscription. Go to rumble.com/premium to use promo code STUDIO.
Yeah, you just donate to the show, okay? Or buy a shirt or hat. Dumbshow.com. Real simple. I don't want you to give money to Rumble. I don't want you to give money to Twitter. I don't want you. If you're going to give money to anyone, give it to me. And I will ensure that I stay on Twitter, stay on Rumble, stay on Facebook, and everything else. I don't understand why this guy would want to go ahead and tell his audience to get Rumble Premium when he's going to make he'll make $2 off of it. I would much rather have you say donate to the show or go buy some clothes or whatever. Because, and I'm not picking on the guy. The guy's got to make a living any way he has. But his community is huge. It's 500,000 people. Nah, 250,000. It's the same size as mine. He just has a lot more people watching on Rumble than I ever do. But tap your audience, man. They want to help you. You're a hell of a guy. You've got a good opinion. You're funny. You're quick-witted. You check your temper like I do sometimes. You remind me a little bit, and I guess that's the biggest compliment I can give you. Ask your people; they'll help you. It took me a while, man. I didn't like doing it, but I think the big thing is how you react to it. So, don't pimp Rumble, dude. Rumble doesn't pay us anything. Rumble, dude, they pay nothing. They're horrible. It's ridiculous. They don't pay them enough. They can pretend they pay them enough, but I've seen what they pay these guys. Unless you're a big contract, and if you got a big contract, well then forget about it. I'm done. But the money that Rumble pays is not excellent. They pay the big guys well, but as far as just doing streaming videos and live videos, it's not that much. Just not gonna lie. But anyway, just good for him. I'm glad he's doing well.
You get no more ads. And what do we think? I'll drop
Israel. That's what a lot of people on the
Am I confirm it? So check spam because the confirmation email can go to your spam, and then we can build a huge list so that maybe Trump will join us.
doing it for months and months along with you. Would you do anything differently? For example, would you withhold some U.S. weapons shipments to Israel? That's what a lot of people on the progressive left want you to do.
Vociferant. All these responses are scripted.
Clear. I'm unequivocal and
they have questions ahead of time. Oh yeah, for sure.
In my commitment to Israel's defense and its ability to defend itself, that's not going to change.
She's drunk.
Let's take a step back.
Thank you, Letitia.
1,200 people were massacred. Many young people who were simply attending a music festival.
Okay, come on, spit it out.
Women were horribly raped.
We know.
Not just
As I
raped.
said then, I say today, Israel has a right to defend itself. We would.
Yeah?
And how it does so matters.
What? Why?
Far too many innocent Palestinians have been killed.
Innocent?
And
yes, you are not joining now.
we have got to
Well, Kevin, if you don't want Trump to win, that's
deal
okay.
Done. We were in Doha. We have to.
Bitch, why? How is Donald Trump getting a deal done? He's on the beach.
That is about getting the hostages.
She is reading.
out.
Good point.
I've
She's
met
reading.
with the families of the American hostages. Let's get the hostages out. Let's get the ceasefire done.
But no change in policy in terms of arms and so forth.
No, we have to get a deal done. Dana, we have to get a deal.
Okay, and what happens when the Palestinians won't agree to a deal and the terms that you ask Israel to agree to are so completely beyond the pale that you don't get a deal done? Will you cut off arms? Just give me 5 minutes with her.
When you look at the significance of this, to the families, to the people who are living in that region. A deal is not only the right thing to do to end this war, but
What
will
deal?
unlock so much of what must happen next. I remain committed since I've been on October 8 to what we must do to work toward a two-state solution.
There
where
is no
Israel is
two-state
secure.
solution. That's not a state. There's only one state. It's Israel. Palestine does not exist. Gaza and the West Strip are not sovereign nations. They are territories that Israel has, for 40 some odd years, have dealt with terrorist strikes coming out of that area. Put up an entire wall around it, not to keep them in, to keep them out. Gave them 85,000 work permits to help the people of Gaza and West Bank, provided them water, infrastructure, food, advanced equipment. They used the piping for water to the villages to make rockets. They took 85,000 and went ahead and seated almost 2% of those people to take photographs of the barricades and the defense mechanisms around Israel and Jerusalem so they could find a vulnerability and murder Jews. There is no Palestine state. Enough. There is no two-state solution. They either surrender with no equivocation or they will be obliterated. End of story. We don't negotiate with terrorists in the United States, lady. Why are you telling Israel to negotiate with terrorists? For the love of God, I've been peaceful long enough. I'm just...
In equal measure, the Palestinians have security and self-determination and dignity.
She's drunk.
Governor
She's
Walz,
drunk.
the country is just starting to get to know you. I want to ask
She's drunk.
you a question about how you've described your service in the National Guard. You said that you carried weapons in war, but
boy.
you have never
Good
deployed
for you,
actually
CNN.
in a war zone. A campaign official said that you misspoke. Did you?
Well, first of all, I'm incredibly proud. I've done 24 years of wearing the uniform of this country.
Answer the
Equally
question.
proud of my service in a public school
Answer
classroom.
the
Whether
question.
it's Congress or the governor.
I thought you said you carried-
My record speaks for itself, but I think
Did you carry
people are
weapons of
coming
war?
to get to know me. I
Did you
speak
carry
like
weapons
they
of war?
do. I speak candidly. I wear my emotions on my sleeves.
Did you carry
and,
weapons of war?
I speak especially passionately about our children being shot in
Weapons of war.
schools.
Weapons of war.
What?
Did
So,
you
I
carry
think people know
weapons
me.
of
They
war?
know who I am. They know where my heart is. And again, my record has been out there for over 40 years.
Answer the question. Weapons of war.
Speak for itself.
Weapons of war.
Was he like, I didn't
The idea
serve
that you said that
school
you were in
shootings?
war. Did you misspeak as the campaign has said?
Yeah, I said we were talking about, in this case, this was after a school shooting, the ideas of carrying these weapons of war. And my wife, the English, told me my grammar's not always correct. But again, if it's not this, it's an attack on my children for showing love for me, or it's an attack on my dog. I'm not going to do that. And the one thing I'll never do is I'll never demean another member's service in any way. I never have.
What?
You didn't demean Donald Trump the other day because of the bone spurs and making fun of him? You didn't go ahead and laugh when Obama did it at the convention, when he went ahead and made fun of his penis size, when he made fun of his hands? Really? You didn't go ahead and speak on Arlington and question about Donald Trump? You didn't go ahead and say suckers and losers? Oh, you commie fuck.
Just one other question, because again,
Sorry, I cussed. That's 3. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I've been good. I'm sorry.
this is all new. I mean, this was not, however many days ago, this was not on either of your bingo cards, especially yours. You had to clarify that you had said that you and your wife
He lied
used
about
but
IVF.
It turned out you used a different kind
Correct.
of fertility in order to have children.
By the way, Donald Trump just openly said that he will support IVF and force insurance companies to cover it for couples wanting to get pregnant with full government backing. Donald Trump is trying to win this election. You need to get behind him. He just went against the Republican Party and said IVF for in vitro fertilization is something that the United States government will back private citizens to do for the full extent to have children if they want to, and will ensure insurance companies by federal law must cover it. I don't know. Sounds like he's trying to win the women's vote.
When you ran for Congress in 2006, your campaign repeatedly made false statements about a 1995 arrest for drunk and reckless driving. What do you say to voters who aren't sure whether they can take you at your word?
Well, I've been very public. I think they can see my students come out, former folks I've served with, and they vouch for me. I certainly own my mistakes when I make them. The one thing I'll tell you is I wished in this country wouldn't have to do this. I spoke about our infertility issues because it's hell, and families know this. And I spoke about the treatments that were available to us that
He
had
lied.
beautiful children there.
Tim Walz.
That's quite a
not
contrast in folks that are
this is a
trying
lie.
to take those rights away from us. And so I think people know who I am. They know that record. They've seen that. I've taught thousands of students. I've been out there. And I won't apologize for speaking passionately, whether it's guns in schools or protecting of reproductive rights.
You won't
The
apologize
contrast
for
could not be
lying?
clear between what we're running against. The vice president's position on this has been clear. And I think most Americans get it if you've been through that. I don't think they're cutting hairs on IVF or IUI. I think what they're cutting hairs on is an abortion ban and the ability to be able to deny.
No,
things
they
and
are.
have a beautiful
You're talking about IVF.
Shifting
Up
gears.
next, the moment that changed everything when Kamala Harris got a phone call from President Biden that he was dropping out of the race.
Dropping, forced. Come on. Can we at least be honest? Forced, threatened, cajoled, bullied. While we're waiting for that to show up, I gotta go. This has been such a long day. I gotta go. I gotta go. Here's the IVF by Trump. I think I saved it. Take a listen.
Statement that under the Trump administration, your government, I'm announcing today in a major statement that under the Trump administration, your government will pay for, or your insurance company will be mandated to pay for, all costs associated with IVF treatment, fertilization for women, IVF treatment. Because we want more babies, to put it very nicely.
Yeah, we do.
And for this same reason, we will also allow new parents to deduct major newborn expenses from their taxes so that parents that have a beautiful baby will be able. So we're pro-family. Nobody's ever said that before. But the IVF treatments are expensive. It's very hard for many people to do it and to get it. But I've been in favor of IVF right from the beginning. I'm announcing today. And
there you go. Good. What did I tell you? Do you guys remember? I hate doing this to you. Do you guys remember when y'all got mad at me? Do you guys remember this? When I told you, hey guys, I'm just wondering, I just have a question. Do you think Donald Trump should ask Congress to go ahead and re-propose and put it on the floor for a vote, the right to life bill and the family values bill? And so we can go ahead and put abortion off the ticket by proposing the 15 weeks and the life, incest, rape. And can we go ahead and propose that and get the Democrats on record to vote against it? So when they try to do this in the election, we can crush them. And everyone yelled at me. We don't know, Matt. We don't give an inch on abortion. If we give an inch, they take a mile. We don't know. We're Republicans. It's murder. No. Where are you at? Where are all those people at? Looking far and wide. Where are all you people? Where are you? I don't see you guys in chat. What did you say? Yeah, Donald Trump's doing exactly what Donald Trump needs to do. He needs to win. Okay? And if they're going to lie and say all this crap, he needs to counteract it with something he'll do. He's going to do that. He'll find a way to do that. He'll get it done. And you know what? Good, because there's nothing wrong with in vitro fertilization. I understand what your problems are. But I'm telling you, It is the law of science and physics. Matter changes forms. And it is not up to me to sit here and say whether that is right or wrong. What I can do is say that for the first time ever in U.S. history, more illegals came into this country than newborn babies were born. We are going the way of Japan. And if we cannot find a way to expand our population and continue to grow as a country, we are going to fade away. That is what happens. Our job is to repopulate. These pushes for unconventional families without having children is dangerous. You have what? 1 in 4 kids today identify as something other than straight heterosexual? Folks, hello? We got to embrace children. And IVF, it brings children into the world. It freezes an egg. I understand that. Some of those eggs go to waste. Okay. I get it. We need to establish where life begins. And if it's a conception and there is absolutely no movement on that, we will never win another election. And you're like, well, it doesn't matter. Okay, well, then Democrats will have free reign to destroy the Constitution, take our guns, take away freedom of speech, and install globalism. Is that what you want? Otherwise, you're going to have to compromise. We have compromised. There was a time we didn't want blacks to have rights. There was a time we didn't want to have women to have rights. There was a time where we stood firm on something and said, we will never move. Well, guess what? We moved. I'm not saying we need to embrace unfettered access to abortions. What I'm saying is we need to get the Democrats on record to give them a place to say, we tried. And they will not move. Donald Trump embracing IVF, Donald Trump embracing birth control is not a bad thing. I'm sorry. It's not a bad thing. When 73% of the country believe in some form of abortion. I don't believe those stats. Well, you better believe those stats because 67 million babies have been murdered since 1967. And it has been going down. Contraception works. Education works. Do them both. But what you can't do is tell a person who is this close to having a child but can't create a child on their own, we have the ability to help. So let's help. Let's embrace it. We need every kid we can get. Sorry, we do. Okay? I got a down vote. Whatever. Is that a down vote? Oh, no, it's a mad face. Okay, that's okay. As long as I didn't get a down vote. A child being born is totally up to God and will only happen if God deems it necessary. IVF will take place. Yeah, IVF will take place if God deems it necessary. My sister has no right to ever have a child, and she put more money than any other human being on the planet in trying to get pregnant. And trust me, that is a very good thing she didn't. And Matt, how could you say that? Well, then you haven't listened to our story because you would understand. Okay, here's the rest. And I got to go. God, it's almost 10 o'clock.
It was.
Are you going to viewer?
So,
make sure you hit that follow button.
Staunch defender of President Biden's capacity to serve another 4 years. Right after the debate, you insisted that President Biden is extraordinarily strong. Given where we are now, do you have any regrets about what you told the American people?
No, not at all. Not at all. I have served with President Biden for almost 4 years now, and I'll tell you, it's one of the greatest honors of my career.
Matt, it should be allowed, but why should we have to pay for it? What, IVF? Birth control? Because the cost of taking care of a child with WIC is far going to supersede the cost of a condom. That's why. He is not saying that the government's going to pay for IVF. He's saying that the insurance companies will be mandated to protect it. And that's just done through regulation law and working with the states. But honestly, I would much rather pay $1.25 for somebody's condom than pay for, $1,500 for their portion of WIC and welfare. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry.
Truly. He cares so deeply.
Right. How about the government help people adopt instead of killing babies? Yeah, that's great. Sure. I agree. He should talk about that.
About the American people, he is so smart and and loyal to the American people.
What?
And I have spent.
This is a sad
hours
interview.
upon
They're
hours
trying to run out the
in
clock.
The Oval Office or the Situation
Right?
Room.
They're just trying to run out the clock.
He has the intelligence, the commitment, and the judgment.
Right. Ramon says, I got 4 WIC children. And like I said, if those children were accidents or not planned, and a single mother needs to go on WIC or welfare for those children and could have prevented that until the right time and having the right spouse, and the person is going to stand by them by using a condom, I'll use option A. B. And I'm not saying that WIC is wrong. I have no problem helping people. What I am not designed to do is to keep people on government subsidy for their entire life and existence. I'm all about helping hand. I am not for a hand out. That's my point. Does that make sense? Awesome. Thanks, Ramon. Not knocking people on WIC. Hey, I took unemployment for 2 weeks once in my life. 2 weeks. But not everybody's in my position. Okay? So if you have WIC children, that's fine. If you're on welfare or food stamps, that's fine. You should be doing everything you can to get off. That is not fine to stay on forever. That's what I've been poor too. And if I had kids and I had a choice to feed those kids or remain poor, I would have gotten WIC and welfare and food stamps. I certainly would, but I would not have stayed on it my entire life. And you obviously didn't either. That's why you said we was poor or we were poor. And you get off when you can. That's all. I just don't want to pay for a permanent lifetime raising of a child because people won't work or won't get married. I know you're doing better now, and I'm proud of you. You've even helped the show. You ordered a box. You've ordered stuff. You've donated. So you're doing fine, but you didn't stay on it your whole life. That's the problem. That's where I have an issue. And people should be drug tested. And they should have to go ahead and mandatory turn in a certain amount of applications and apply for jobs. All of these things should be absolutely a part of government assistance.
And disposition?
I'm going in 11 minutes. I'll play this tomorrow.
That I think the American people rightly deserve in their president.
Nobody wants him.
By contrast, the former president has none of that.
Oh, bullshit.
And so,
none? Really?
One,
okay.
I am so proud to have served as vice
Shout out
president to Joe
Dylan.
Biden. And 2, I am so proud to be running with Tim Walz for president of the United States and to bring America what I believe the American people deserve, which is a new way forward and turn the page.
Why? Why
on
turn
the
the
last
page?
decade
If it
of what I
worked.
believe has been contrary to where the spirit of our country really lies.
But the last decade, of course, the last 3.5 years has been part of your administration.
I'm talking about an era that started about a decade ago, where there is some suggestion, warped, I believe it to be.
Barack Obama?
That
She's
the
drunk.
measure of the strength of a leader is based on who you beat down, instead of where I believe most Americans are, which is to believe that the true measure of the strength of a leader is based on who you lift up. That's what's at stake as much as any other detail that we could discuss in this election.
Because we haven't had a chance to talk, I'm just curious.
Angel, I'm glad you get disability and welfare, and I never said anything about it. And there are people who need to be on it permanently. I think you guys know what I'm talking about, okay? I mean, I shouldn't have to explain myself for stuff like this.
Staying on President Biden, when he called you and said he was pulling out of the race, what was that like? And did he offer to endorse you right away, or did you ask for it?
It was...
You're lying.
It was a Sunday.
You're lying.
So here, I'll give you a little too much information.
Go for it.
This chick is drunk.
Madam Vice President.
They are really stretching
my
this.
family was
They are
staying
really
with us.
stretching this.
And including my baby nieces. And we had
Not her babies.
just had pancakes and,
Oh my God!
you know,
Come on,
Auntie,
lady.
can I have more bacon? Yes, I'll make you more bacon.
Send around.
And
No, no, that's not the way it was in your house. Auntie, can I have more grits and collard greens? Oh, sure, darling. I'll go get you some of that. Isn't that what happens in your black household as you guys listen to Miles Davis and Louis Armstrong and those records that you just bought as a black person like 2 months ago? Give me a break.
$2 on popular.
we
Spread
were
the word on
gonna
tailgates
we
for
were
Trump.
sitting
Get the word
down
out.
to do a puzzle,
Yes, FS Dogs fan. I agree.
and the phone rang, and it was Joe Biden. And
No, it wasn't. It was Nancy
and he told me
Pelosi.
what he had decided to do.
Wrong.
And,
This is a lie.
This is bullshit.
This is a lie.
I agree with him.
I
Lies.
asked him, "Are you sure?"
Are you
And he
sure?
said yes.
Mr. President, are you certain? Because we know you play with your poop and eat green grams. Come on. He didn't call you. He hasn't given you any. He gave you the border and you mucked it up. He gave you Poland and you almost got us into war. Russia invaded after you left. He didn't call you. He doesn't even he doesn't like real black people. He certainly doesn't like fake black people. Give me a break.
And
Wallace
and
has done
that's
nothing.
how I learned about it.
And what about the endorsement? Did you ask for it?
I think it's also kind of funny how your family has pork in it when your husband's supposedly like super Jew. Come on. Your daughter donated money to Hamas and raised money for Hamas, and you and your husband haven't said anything about it, and you hate Israel. And you're married to a Jew. That guy is a complete woman. He has no pants in the family. He has no balls. They are in your purse along with his spine. He's a Jew who has abandoned his people for you. Bacon? Really? Do you guys celebrate Kwanzaa too? Give me a fucking break. This lady is so full of shit. I have to cuss. I can't keep it in anymore. Bacon? Really? Yes, and we use normal Morton's table salt too. You did not kosher? Yes, and we also Neil Diamond was on, but we turned it. Come on.
And he was very clear that he was going to support me.
So when he called to tell you, he said, "I'm pulling out of the race and I'm going to support you."
Oh my
well,
God.
my first thought was not about me, to be honest with you.
Oh, please.
My first thought was about him.
Oh, please.
Oh, I
To
bet.
be honest.
Please.
If you had taken his last load.
I think history is going to show a number of things about Joe Biden's presidency.
Yeah, it was
I think
a farce.
history is going to show
Joke.
that in so many ways it was transformative.
How?
Be it on what we have accomplished around finally investing in America's
Okay. So why are you changing the policies and turning the page then? Huh? Stick with me here. If you believe that you and Joe Biden took America forward and your policies helped do this, and the path of righteousness is beset by Biden and Harris, then why do you want to turn the page? And why are you changing policies? And why do you want to implement new things?
infrastructure, investing in new economies, in new industries. What we have done
What industries?
to bring
EV?
our allies back together. And
She
have
just wants a-
confidence
they
in
just
who
want a
we are
white
as
guy on
America
screen.
and grow that alliance. What we have done to stand true to our principles, including the one of the most important international rules and norms, which is the importance of sovereignty and territorial integrity.
Just not for those Jews. The most important thing to any country is sovereignty and international integrity, except for those dirty Jews, right? Those guys that used to be like your husband and your daughter who have completely abandoned the Jewish faith. Yeah. International security and integrity through sovereignty, except for those Jews. This lady. Could I just, please, for the love of God, allow me to take over Donald Trump for 1 hour when they debate? I will tear this bitch up and down all night long. And I use the word bitch. I'm sorry, because I can't stand her. I can't stand socialists. I can't stand progressives. I told you there is a hatred in my heart for them. Hatred.
And I think history is going to show not only has Joe Biden led an administration that has achieved those extraordinary successes, but the character of the man is one that he has been in his life and career, including as a president.
Is this when he refused to bus kids and he was eulogizing KKK members as you called him a racist? Shall we play the clip, Johnny? Is it that time? Because that's what you said. Shill.
Quite selfless and puts the American people first.
You're welcome, Mama. What? They're back to commercial again?
Passionate defense of the man who chose.
Trump.com or number.
Folks,
that's it.
I want to thank this guy. He's kind of funny.
That's what we have to stop.
His name's The Quartering. He's over on Rumble. Go follow him. Thanks for providing us the feed because I'm not paying that crap. I'm not buying CNN. Folks, I'm telling you, they don't like her. And she's not a fine wine. She doesn't get better with age. Like a cheese, she's going to get worse. Well, once you peel back the outer wax, it'll degrade. And she's getting peeled back now. The false veneer that covers her is going to be ripped away from her. And she's going to be exposed. Remember what I said. Her job is to have people forget the last 4 years and try to remember the 4 years with Trump in a negative light. That's a very difficult task to do. That is not easy. Tim Walz is a complete sack of shit. I'm just letting you know. That guy, his answers were no emotion. He is just there to be a bullet sponge. There's no real substance. I think JD Vance is going to rock his world. Rock his world. That's it, folks. Thanks for donating to the show. If you haven't had a chance, go to thedumshow.com. Get some cool shirts like No More in 2024. The Dumb Nation hat. Coffee. We have great coffee. I got to do the coffee logos and get that rebranded. Somebody remind me to do that. We got a lot to do. We're shipping out the boxes this weekend for which it stands. Remember, the documents of freedom that has been on my desk all night, except for right now, is right here. It has the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, the Declaration of Independence, all labeled leather-bound books, beautiful, made by the wonderful company called PFC Flags. And it's all engraved, painted, matte finish, gorgeous. Go over there and take a look. It's at thedumbshow.com. Available now. We sold 150 of these damn things. They went out of stock. Now they're back in stock. Wimkin.com. Free Speech Network. Big news coming out of Wimkin with the A47 fentanyl test at A47 test, I think it is, .com. Someone's going to link it for you right now. I'm sure it's going to be Amy. Go on over there and take a look. This is going to be huge. Donald Trump is, at this point, we think he's going to be dropping it on his social media, if not in one of his speeches, and his new initiative to fight fentanyl with an amazing, inexpensive drug test that can pick up on fentanyl. Go over to wimkin.com. Be a part of it. Jason is a great guy. 9 million people strong. Free speech, social media, 100%. Won't sell your information. Won't spam you with emails. Will let you watch everything without signing up. Go over to wimkin.com. A47test.com is what it's called. Go take a look. God bless. I'll be back tomorrow. Damani Felder's on tomorrow night. As far as I know, if that changes, I'll let you know. We're so close on our goal to blowing it out of the water. If anyone wants to help out, please do. We're at 3504.85. Thank you for making another successful month for the Don't Unfriend Me Show. We will see you tomorrow. God bless.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.